To the Secret Void Century podcast. This is episode 9. I am your host, the Chestnut Tanuki, of course. Welcome to that One Piece talk. With me are my lovely guests that definitely weren't here before me and do more than me. We have Hime-sama and also Larry, who recently dropped a bomb theory video. Go give him some love, guys. Why don't you two go introduce yourself? We'll start with Larry.
Hi, so my name is Larry. I'm new to the One Piece community. I started on Vine, and then I transferred over to TikTok because Vine ended. And now I am, I only have 5 followers on TikTok, by the way. And I'm slowly growing. I create One Piece drawings, and it's usually girl on girl. It's very exciting. Sometimes I gender bend too, personally I do it. So it's fun times. So thank you for having us. Having me.
Of course. Yeah. Hime, you can go now.
Alright, so as you all know, Hime, and on TikTok, Hime Tenshi, I drop funny videos, sometimes thirst traps for Sims. So yeah. That's about it.
All right, thank you, everybody. Make sure to drop hashtag Raccoon Dog Crew in the comments. We're about to blow up. So welcome to now the newly named Tanuki podcast. So.
I think that went very well. I think that went very well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You can take over from here. It's okay.
So welcome everybody to, sorry, I'm just like putting up a picture. I forgot to do this. Thank you for coming. Happy to be here with the 2 ladies as always. I feel like there's never a dull moment with them. This is probably my favorite group of people to talk to besides all you guys, because you all are of the opposite sex. No, I'm joking. I just want to say thank you. Thank you a ton for just being here. I don't know if you guys know, but Chestnut has come out with a theory video, and it is a phenomenal video that I hope comes true through the voice of all things somehow. So do you just want to speak a tiny bit, Chestnut, about it, and then we'll, move forward?
Of course, Larry. As the host of this podcast, I would love to talk about my own theory video. So my theory video, obviously, is 100% true. Oda told me himself, but it is about the happenings of the Void Century, what the One Piece is, and kind of making connections between actual things that happen in our real world, specifically like Greek and Judeo-Christian history, and I'm actually like seeing where the references lean in One Piece. So if you guys want to check that out, it's only 10 minutes, unlike another person who dropped a 17-minute theory. Can we believe this?
That's way too long. Like,
yeah, way too long.
Like,
I agree, man.
That's definitely not what she said, but I get you.
Pause.
Yeah, my bad. Pause.
Wait, what? What?
Pause.
Oh shit. Okay, I got joke way too late, bro.
Hime's like, oh shit. Yes, when I watched your video, I was very excited. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there and I was just like giddy a little bit because I was just like, about time, yo. Like I've been waiting so long, and I was just like, man. And then, Void hooked you up with the thumbnail, and when I saw the thumbnail, I was like, oh, this shit is about to be fire.
Thumbnail was great. Video was great, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it was good. Listen, the editing was good too. Video editing sucks a little bit, right? Especially with the YouTube copyright system. Yeah, she ended up she ended up having to she ended up putting on like 16 filters, bro, and she still kept getting copyrighted.
Oh yeah, Chestnut?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Hime, I don't know if you heard like when I was doing it, but it was the worst experience of my life. I need to figure out a new way to edit because apparently everybody's just posting stuff.
Like, did you like, watch some tutorials, some videos about that type of shit? Because they could have like given you like a lot of hints,
In hindsight, that's probably what I should have done, but
it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
It's 2020,
It's okay. It's okay. Like, like spraying and praying, same shit. Like, you just free ball it. It's fine.
Yeah, free ball it. Oh, and then we have Hime. Hello, Hime. How are you? Tell the people
Hi.
who you are. Tell them where they can
I mean,
find
I've
you.
already said so, but I can restart. So it's Ohime Tenshi on TikTok, and I make funny anime
Hime
TikToks,
Senpai.
and also cosplays. I'm dropping soon a cosplay.
Which can we have like a hint? Like you don't have to tell us, but can we have something we can guess? Is it One
Look at
Piece?
the picture. Look at the picture of like my Discord, like my profile Discord
Oh,
pic,
I feel like that's
and you'll
too
know.
much of a hint. You could have just said like, yeah, she has horns. I'd have been like,
It
bet.
has horns, I mean,
She
Yamato has
basically just
horns.
told us.
Yeah, she just told us.
She was
Oh,
just
it's
like,
okay.
she was like, yeah, I'm doing it.
It's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
actually, join the Discord if you guys want to hear more. If you aren't already joined.
Yes, have to join the Discord. It's gonna be super fire. So, I have a question. I know I asked you two like what you wanted to talk about, but I did come up with like 2 questions. So, the first question is regarding chapter 1069, and it doesn't at the same time. So, Shaka states in 1069 that most awakened zone powers tend to overwhelm the user's mind, right? During Enies Lobby, we saw Chopper go into monster form to defeat Kumo Dori. He lost his mind. Then again, we see Chopper go into Monster Point again on Sabo Ori Archipelago. When Kuma started taking out the Straw Hats, he lost his mind. My question to you both is, do you think Chopper was awakened, or he forced his awakening through the Rumble Balls? And we'll start with Hime.
Honestly, I couldn't see like a bigger form than this. I think that could be an awakening if we take into account the fact that they lose themselves, they lose their mind. Like, why would he lose his mind if he wasn't awakened? If we go by this definition, of course. And like I cannot see another bigger form than this. Like what? I think that's his final form, to be honest. So maybe he had like an awakening, but I'm not sure, but I would say yes.
You would say yes? Okay. What about you,
Yeah.
Chestnut?
So, I've actually had this theory for a while that Chopper was forcing his awakening. I think I made a couple videos back, but I'm not too sure. But when, like, especially with all of the new, like, evidence about it, and also the evidence, like, with when we see, like, Lucci and Luffy now have kind of, like, come into themselves with their devil fruits, and this is why their mind isn't taken over, it makes a lot more sense why Chopper's devil fruit took over his mind in those instances because he wanted to be more human, but that wasn't the point of the fruit. It was to have humanity, not to like look like actual humans, which is why a lot of his forms post time skip now are like they don't look very human, but that's because he's more confident in himself and he's grown as a person. So it makes a lot of sense that because he got over that hurdle, he's able to control Monster Point now, rather than pre time skip when he wasn't.
So you agree that it's also his awakening?
Yes.
Yeah?
I don't know, Larry. What's your
Hmm.
opinion? As the host of this show, I'd love to hear your opinion.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. You know, it was so I guess we would have to say if they are awakened, then most of them have to have that cloak or something that resembles the cloak. And the reason I asked that is because we still don't know if Kaido is awakened, right? But there is a picture with Kaido, and he does have his eyebrows that turn into the shape of the cloak when he's in his drunken mode. And some people are theorizing that I don't have the picture. Maybe I'll pull it up and then post it in our chat so we could all see it. But basically his eyebrows are cloaked out a little bit. And I was wondering, since Chopper went into that mode and lost his mind, maybe he did awaken, or maybe he reached a certain form of the zone, and even though it wasn't awakened, it still was too much for Chopper, so it overpowered his mind. So I wouldn't say that it's his awakening. I think that he has another level before that happens. But I think if you rush too soon, like if Luffy rushed too soon into Gear 4, then probably Nika would have came out faster. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I would say no, though. I think
Okay.
Chopper would have to have some cloak.
Could it be that there was just like not like his true awakened form, and there was some aspects of awakening that Chopper is exhibiting? Like, you don't think that there's any aspect of awakening, or do you?
I don't. I think
Okay.
it's just another form that he just wasn't ready for. Sort of like the Impel Down guards, right? So like the Impel Down guards and they were all awakened, right? But they also didn't have any cloaks.
Hmm.
So maybe they reached a form that they weren't truly awakened, but the Zoan took over them anyway because they weren't ready, because their mind wasn't necessarily caught up to their body. So it's probably like a what do they call it in Dragon Ball Super? It's like semi ultra instinct or something like that with Goku when he turns into like his mastered form and he goes all like white hair. Do you guys know what I'm talking about or no?
Yeah, like
All
Ultra
of
Instinct.
Dragon Ball, sorry.
Yeah. All right. So basically, I don't think it's an awakening. I think it's a form of just the Zoan forms, and they just weren't ready for it. But I'm not too sure. It's so confusing.
I don't know also. I mean, we need to see more of Chopper. Like,
Hmm.
we'll see.
But I do think that it's sort of weird that Chopper happens to have this Zoan fruit, right? And he is the Zoan that lost his mind, but he did it through Rumble Balls. So I'm starting to think like, what if that's a foreshadow for like Lucci and why he's able to do
our
it?
our bomb theory that we dropped
Yeah.
like 4 days ago.
Yeah, and I think we didn't mention that, but like Chopper did have the ability to force himself into certain zones of his zone. So like, what if the scientists discovered that and just gave it to Lucci and then Kaku, and they could both go awaken too? And then Chopper's like, oh snap, like I can do that. Like I've been doing that.
Do you think like everybody could awaken, not just zone type? With like a
Nah,
forced like thing, or just zone types?
I think it's just zone types.
Why?
Ooh.
Why?
Go Chestnut.
No, you go first. He may has a really interesting question for you.
Yeah, but
Oh, she
why
does.
just zone types?
Why don't I? Why only zone types?
Yeah.
Well, it's because I think that there's a lineage factor within zone devil fruits, unlike Paramecias and Logias.
And why can't the others awaken, like have a forced awakening?
I don't think, because there's not necessary. So there's like, I would say there's a previous devil fruit user's will inside of those devil fruits, like the Paramecias and Logias. But since the zone types have probably the same previous users plus the animal users within the devil fruit, there's a lot more that goes into those zone devil fruits itself, unlike with the Paramecias and the Logias. Like zone types have two different types of wills. So they have the previous devil fruit users that had the devil fruit, and then they have the animal or god that was in that devil fruit as well. You get what I'm saying or no?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Where Logias and Paramecias, we know that Ace's will is somewhat in the Logia fruit. So since there's not like an animal or a lineage factor, there's just only Ace's will.
But I don't see what does the will of that animal has to do with the awakening. You decide to like get to that point of awakening. So like, why can't I force it on you, even if you don't have a zone type?
I think that what Larry is saying is that the reason that Chopper is able to do it with the Rumble Balls is that he's like Vegapunk was specific. Like Vegapunk would use the lineage factor to force like Lucci's awakening, and that's very similar to what Chopper is doing. Is that it's specifically targeting the lineage factor in Zoan type devil fruits,
Exactly.
in which it hasn't been confirmed for Paramecia and Logia types that they have the sort of like lineage factor, even though they have like certain wills, and that it's specifically targeting that point, so it only works for Logia.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But also, like back on Chopper and his foreshadowing, Chopper foreshadowed Luffy's gears.
Oh yeah,
back on Jump Island, and he also foreshadowed because of that Luffy was going to be like the Hito Hito no Mi model, because like their fruits are very similar to each other and they parallel each other in a lot of ways. And I think it's really interesting that like the forms that Chopper goes into have basically like they're all very specialized, and that's exactly what Gear Fourth is. Like all of his gears, like Gear Second is specifically for increasing speed. Like the fourth gear, Bounce Man is specifically for like power.
Mm-hmm.
Like Snake Man, you could kind of say that it's specifically for like fast attacking power. You could even like probably do it to like Cloven Point, But a lot of what Chopper does is mirrored in Luffy, and I think if you look, it's been all foreshadowing up to Luffy being that.
What is Gear 5 like for? Like how? Like
Gear 5.
Yeah.
Like Gear 5 is probably like that's why I'm thinking that Chopper is like forcing his awakening because like of Gear 5.
Okay, so you would parallel with it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's why I would parallel.
I think there's another form for Chopper, and I think it's gonna look more human than we ever thought.
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
But
I think he would look like a Whoville character in a way, like you know how like the Whoville noses are like that. I think he would look like that, and then he would have the cloak as well, but he'd look so much more human, and he'd probably be so much smarter. Like, because his devil fruit is just enlightenment at this point, right? So he could be like,
yeah.
I don't know, like he'd probably
But
go into like Jesus mode, right? Like he start healing people.
But that would like ruin his character. I feel like because
Would it?
Because I feel like
Cool.
we need to accept him as a reindeer more than not a human, and that when he knows that he could become a human, maybe he's gonna want to be a human even more, and he's gonna like not accept the fact of going back to being a reindeer. I don't know. This is how I would feel.
I would personally like to see like a you know how like there's like a handsome Squidward in like SpongeBob. There's like a
No,
handsome.
I get it. Me too. But
Chopper.
I'm just saying.
He's just built. He has like a beard and shit.
Yeah.
He looks like Kratos.
Larry, go look at the super chats really quick because somebody said something in the super chat and it was kind of similar to what you just said.
Hold on. So Celestial Donkey super chatted $20. He says #Buggy Gang. Thank you, CD.
Buggy Gang. Thank you for donating to my podcast.
Lokes Pirates super chatted $5. He says Chopper has the God fruit Hito Hito no Mi model type in Jesus. And then another one by Rionosuke. He says $5. I think all devil fruits change the person's lineage factor, but it's different for Paramecias and Logias.
Be true. That there's different ones for like different fruits, and that they're like maybe it's targeting specifically Zoan for Chopper's fruit, and then there are different like lineage factors, which could even be called something different, but be in theory the same thing for Paramecia and Logias, which technically we know to be true because Vegapunk was able to recreate the swim fruit, and we have canonical evidence from chapter 1068.
Oh, you're right. He did do that. And he did the Kizaru's beam too. What was the other one you said that I had to read the chat? Was it from Kid Leo?
No, it was the one about the Jesus because you were like, he's gonna look
the
like
Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
My bad.
You know, this is why I run this podcast. You know, I gotta keep these people on point, especially Hime.
Yeah, CD sent another $5. He says, "Yo, if Chopper is Jesus, then he definitely has Conqueror's hockey, bro."
They all have it. I'm making the theory right now. Every single Straw Hat will have Conqueror's hockey by the end.
I don't know about that.
They might, honestly. Especially Nami.
I think everybody.
I would be fine with Nami having it, but like, there's some of them I'm not sure they should have it.
Everybody will have it besides Sanji. I fully believe that. That's how it's gonna work.
Yeah, Frankie ain't gonna have Conquerors. I'm sorry, this doesn't make sense in my head.
Crazy.
Nah, Frankie has some Conquerors type attitude.
Bro, come on.
Yo, he tried to stop the sea train.
Listen. He needs more screen time, and he needs an upgrade, like a buff, because right now Frankie is kind of like he's a mid character. Everybody's forgetting about him in the Straw Hat, and I hate that fact because I used to like him a lot.
Yo, low key, Frankie like bodied Sasaki pretty easily.
Yeah, it was like a no diff fight for Frankie. He was just kind of like, Honestly,
I think you're not giving Frankie enough credit.
Yeah, but like, that's the thing because Oda is like, doing him dirty all the time.
Yeah.
And no, I also like Frankie. I want to see more of him on Egghead. I want to see like something.
Why you cross your arms like that, Chestnut? What happened?
What do you mean? No, nothing. I'm just getting comfy. Go back to Hime.
Wait, did I miss something?
No, she made like a pout face and then she did this.
No, because I was because we were talking about Frankie. I get it.
Yeah.
No, never.
No.
Listen.
Crazy. Why am I getting bullied in my stream? All right, everybody, let's go on to the next question that I have prepared for my lovely guests today.
They're bullying you?
Yo, you want to talk about bullying? Did you see how they bullied me on the general chat? Bro, they're so mean to women. They're so mean to women in this Discord, I must say, by the way.
Yo, do not
Yo.
put that out there because that is not
Larry's-
true.
Larry's gonna ban us, man.
Bro.
That is not true.
Yo. Justice for Hime.
Listen,
Hashtag justice for Hime.
Yeah,
Hashtag-
I'm gonna do a
hashtag raccoon dog.
GoFundMe, like help
Hashtag
Hime
Tanuki goat.
mental health because like
listen,
these men
y'all
be
both get
wildin'.
treated like queens. Alright?
That's such. Go read the
Queens.
fucking chat on chat. Go read the chat. You like yo. I have
Queens.
receipts.
Pull up the receipt,
I get
yo.
bullied on the daily, y'all.
All right, I do
Yeah.
actually have a question for you guys. So
What's up?
since this is my podcast, I'm just gonna take it off. Do you guys think that the admirals are going to like start becoming like the main villains in the story, or do you think that we're going to get more Blackbeard? From what we've seen, do you think that it's going to be more admiral focused, or are we going to like stick with the pirates? We'll start with Hime.
Honestly, I don't think we're gonna see them more as villains. I would think that it would be cooler to have them like some of them have like a switch of like I don't know if it makes sense to say that like a change of heart, you know, a bit like, but like for example, I want to see what Kobe's gonna do. You know, I want to see like people like Garp. What is he gonna do? Like I feel like they can never become villains. Like the only villains I can see happening is like Kizaru and Akainu. Like if Fujitora, I feel like he has a soft heart, but it's the only two that I can see become villains. But for the rest, they care too much. I feel like they have a good heart, so they would never become villains. So I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question because I'm seriously thinking. So I think there's a really big elephant in the room when it comes to the One Piece community. And I think the elephant in the room is we don't know who the actual villain of the story is. And we don't know who the villains of the story are going to be. And I think that everybody knows that it's going to be Blackbeard, it's going to be Akainu, it's going to be Emu. But when you speak about the admirals that way, it makes me feel like the admirals do get disrespected quite a bit, even though they deserve more respect. And Green Bull didn't help that, right? Like Green Bull just made it worse for everybody. And then when Sabo and a few good men went to Marie Joa and they did what they did, and then we saw Fuji like in bandages, we were like, damn, like the admirals have been taking L's after L's, right? But it's always been the new generation of admirals. Now, when it comes to the old generation of admirals, so we're talking Aokiji, Akainu, Kizaru, we've always expected big things from them because they've always had great showcasings. Anytime they came into the story when they were introduced, we were always like, these are the most badass dudes of all time. Where Fuji was okay, but Green Bull was kind of disappointing. So when I look at Akainu, I definitely do think that he's going to be a villain. Like, I think we spoke about it, Chestnut, when we were reviewing the chapter, like, he's so frustrated. He's always behind the desk. He always wants to go out and just be ruthless and conniving and just merciless to anybody that opposes the WG, right? So I want to see him like, I said on a podcast yesterday, I want to see him like go into the battlefield and be the first admiral to take off his cloak and just be like, let's get it. But there also is that thought process of what's happening with Aokiji. Is he a real villain, or is he on the side of like his lazy justice, or did he switch up? Can he be a villain? We don't know. But I think that the perfect person to put the villain status on him would be Kizaru. I think Kizaru coming to Egghead and possibly seeing that his nephew is possibly dead, I want to see him go apeshit. I think I'm tired of seeing lazy Kizaru. I want him to be a villain this arc. I probably want him to be the main villain this arc. And I want to see him just freaking go all out. I want to see him go awakening. I want it to the point where like Luffy has to struggle. And if we don't get that, I think that would be a very missed opportunity. So
yeah, Kizaru is always so lazy. Like if
Yeah.
I feel like he's in the Navy for the pay, you know, that type of people are like, yeah, I'm here for the benefits, you know. This is Kizaru. Like he would be retired by now if he could, you know.
yeah, I think it would be so lit, bro. But how about you?
Chestnut.
You know, Chestnut, since it's your podcast.
Yes, and since it's my podcast, so there's always been two like routes that I've been going towards, like for the ending arc. Either everybody on the world government has basically decided that it's best to have the world government in control and try to do internal reforms from there, and in that point they have to go up against like full strength against Luffy's crew. Or Sword is the revolutionary faction and is going to end up siding with Dragon with the revolutionaries, and that's going to be kind of there's just going to be an entire internal combustion with the world government. I do see a lot of like fall of Rome type symbolism from the world government at this point, and I think that the entire story has been building up that slowly but surely they've been losing their power. Will they consolidate their power up again? Will we have some sort of like insane power move from Kizaru on Egghead? I hope so, because if that's the case, and we start seeing a lot more power and power struggles with the admirals and the higher tiers of the world government, I think it's going to be really cool. Another very small side note is if Sentomaru is dead and they kill Vegapunk, the Seraphims will be in the world government side, and I think it's going to be a lot harder to fight against them. If Sentomaru somehow lives, which probably will, Sentomaru is going to become incredibly important to the plot because I don't think that Vegapunk is getting out of this alive, and I think that he's going to be the one who has to control the Seraphims at that point. Other than obviously the Gorosei, who don't ever seem to step out of their office. So I think that if we're kind of going this route, there's going to be some sort. There's either going to be like the revolutionaries are going to side with Sword and try to reform the world government, or the world government is going to say like we can't trust these people and go at them. So depending on what route they take, that's going to determine whether Blackbeard starts coming up as the real main villain of the story. Because if we get the world government is going to start working with the revolution, Blackbeard is going to be the main focus. If not, we're going to shift our focus over to the world government. That's just my opinion, though.
But like, I feel like if the world government is with the revolutionary army and like everybody's like on the same side, like there's too many enemy for Blackbeard, right? And that would be like a bit boring, no?
It'd be more like an internal power struggle with the world government. So like Sword has like 6 members,
Yeah, they
like
got
that
a
we
couple.
know of.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of them could be very powerful, but I mean like I don't think Kobe is gonna really stand a chance, especially if the Seraphims start coming more into play.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it all depends what happens on Egghead. Egghead is one of the most important arcs in One Piece. Might even be more important than Skypiea. It's like blasphemous to say, but like this arc is gonna probably dictate the rest of the series and the conclusion.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm truly excited for this arc. I wasn't excited for Wano, but like I'm excited for this one, just cause like I said, like man, like I want to see Kizaru stunt. Like I want to see Kizaru like show us a Logia awakening for the first time on panel, and we're just like, yo, what? And then Luffy has to use his imagination to turn the light into rubber so everybody could just stand like on the island. Because if not, then they're just gonna fall down, right? Because like that's just so insane to me. Like my imagination starts going off when I start thinking of Kizaru, and I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah, but like if Kizaru comes, we know that he's gonna fight against Luffy, but who's gonna fight against Lucci? Like, or, like who's fighting against him then?
I'm gonna be real. I don't think Lucci is that strong. And
no, but who is he gonna fight? Like, do you think like Luffy's gonna like beat him up before Kizaru comes? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think that will happen, but I do think that
me neither.
Most likely the fight will switch to Sanji. Like if Sanji
Why
doesn't,
Sanji?
yeah, like if Sanji doesn't fight Kizaru, which I do want him to get that hockey bloom, even though he's not ready for him. It's just like he has to face some adversity. I want him to fight Lucci.
Yeah, I get it.
I feel like that would be perfect for Sanji, especially since I complain about it all the time. I just feel like Sanji shouldn't be the the fourth person on a crew, like that's dependable or like strength wise or like reliability. I feel like Jinbei is such a better wing for Luffy than Sanji is post time skip, where Sanji was, on equal terms with Zoro pre time skip because his character was better and more reliable. So if we were to get this for Sanji, I think everybody, like the whole community would be like, oh, our confidence is back in this guy. So I see a lot of good coming out of this arc if certain people got opportunities.
I don't know about Sanji. The thing is, we saw already enough from him. I'm getting a bit sick of seeing Sanji. Like I'm not trying to be mean, but I feel like the rest of the crew like is like, always standing in the back, and it's always either Sanji or like or Sanji. To be honest, I'm thinking like for the rest of like we didn't see anything from the rest. Like maybe a bit of Jinbei, in Wano, but that's about it. Like, okay, yeah, we saw a bit of Zoro maybe, against King, but then the rest, like, it was just, they were there to be there, and that's kind of sad, I don't know.
So listen, I'll be upfront. I don't want to see more Sanji. Like I've had enough.
Same.
But
Mm.
I think that when the time calls and it fits the story greatly and it adds like this emotional impact and then it just starts making everything else make sense, I think he's the perfect choice. Undoubtedly. I think that Zoro stunted. He was able to do his thing on the rooftop and Sanji had to take a step back and fight like Queen, right? But this would put him at the forefront and say, yo, I'm still up there with Zoro and I'm still kind of behind Luffy. But in order to do that, he has to fight somebody comparable, right? So he has to either fight Lucci, who is possibly first commander level, which I think he is now. But yeah, I mean, as for Blackbeard too, I'm gonna need more from Blackbeard. I think that in order for me to consider him like the end game opponent, he has to be on screen. He has to be on screen more than he's ever been before. I feel like
For sure.
we're not going to an island, right? Like we always go to an island to face the villain. We went to Dressrosa, faced Dofi. We went to Alabasta, faced Crocodile. We went to Sky Island, faced Enel. There's so many instances of us just going to an island. Well, Blackbeard only has full of lead. Why would we ever go to full of lead? You know, the only thing we would probably go to full of lead for is probably if he obtained a road poneglyph, which we still don't know where the last one is. And that's the only time we would fight him. But that means we would fight him before we went to find the One Piece. And I think that I think Luffy and Blackbeard should fight each other when they're about to get to One Piece at the same time.
I just wanted to say that Seb is saying, tell him that his Sanji take his ass. I'm gonna be honest, I also don't want to see Sanji. I don't want to see him get stronger. We saw enough of him. He had his opportunity, and too bad for him. And I also wanted to say that Blackbeard. So if Oda ends up showing us the law fight,
Mm-hmm.
I might be satisfied a bit, But right now he's skipping it, and I feel like he's gonna skip it, and this is making me mad. So I need to say this.
Yeah, I think that Blackbeard just being able to like stunt, we just need to see it. I felt kind of crazy. I was like, oh man, like I love that we're seeing Blackbeard versus Law. Like, let us see more of this guy. Let us see more of his personality. Like, he's kind of chased his goals already. He's just acquiring strength at this point. So I'm like, yo, let's see him versus Law. And then we immediately get it off paneled. And we might not even go back to it. So I'm like, yo, this is not what we should be getting.
Yeah, but I think... Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay. Listen, about your guys' L Blackbeard takes, okay? So
no, I'm just no. I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on him. But I think that Oda is like maybe hiding his potentials to make us like get excited for whenever he's gonna show us a real fight. But yeah, go ahead, Chestnut.
So I think the reason that we have not been seeing Blackbeard, specifically when he uses the Yami Yami no Mi, is because it is going to be really it's going to reveal some sort of some information about the Void Century and stuff that passed. And I think that we're also going to see some sort of parallel to Dusk, considering that Luffy is always seen as the Dawn. Blackbeard is the Dusk. They parallel each other and they're exact opposites. And we saw this back on Jaya. Every single time we've seen Blackbeard use this fruit, it's been cut away. There's a reason that we're cutting away from it, right? And it's because whatever it is so powerful and so influential that if we saw it earlier, we'd be like, it would kind of ruin the surprise. So I'm gonna wait and see, because I feel like he's saving it for a very specific, something very specific, let's say.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like he wanna show us when the time is right, but by doing this, everybody who's backing him up have no facts or feats, and that's making me mad, because I'm like, okay, show me how he's fighting, but
I just want to see him fight somebody that doesn't have a devil fruit. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Why? Why?
He always fights people that have devil fruits.
Yeah, okay, right. So he uses Yami Yami no Mi? Okay, I see.
Yeah, show me the dude scrapping, bro. I need to see something.
Didn't he fight Izo, the one with the guns, right? Didn't he fight them when the Whitebeard commanders went after him? Technically?
Nah, they never went after him. It was Sengoku and Garp. So
No, for when like Marco and them like post time skip it and they went after.
I mean, it's Marco.
But
It's
like the rest
Marco.
of the commanders went.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to see him.
Well,
I
I
want
don't
to
know
see
what you're saying,
Shanks beat
Mike.
his ass. Honestly, that's my wish. I want to see Shanks beat his
Blackbeard
ass.
is Blackbeard neg diffs Shanks. Okay,
Okay.
it's gonna be
Okay, not
crazy.
negative. Come
So
on, bro.
Hime, this is your
Negative is-
podcast now, Hime.
No, negative is a big word. Like, come
It's-
on, come on, come on.
Listen,
He's
We're-
obviously
whoa.
capping.
as soon
Like
as
I
soon
neg
as
diff Larry, but like this could work.
No.
But like
Listen.
Blackbeard neg diffing Shanks. No, that's you
When
wilding.
when Blackbeard gets introduced in the story with Shanks and we see them interact for the first time, Shanks is gonna meet his end. And there's a lot of death flags for Shanks, and Blackbeard is one of the only people in the verse who is shown to have some sort of power that can kind of go against it. Obviously, there's been a lot of hockey talk, and we've been boosting up hockey for a while. If hockey is so great and so powerful, and there's so much stuff with it, why is Blackbeard going specifically after devil fruits? Who can say? But he definitely has something that can counter. And another good point is, if Shanks thought that he could beat Blackbeard's crew at the moment, why isn't he going after him? Specifically knowing that Blackbeard is probably his biggest threat at the moment. Like, why isn't he going after him? It has to be.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Hime.
No, I was just gonna say that you never see Shanks acting for nothing. Like the only time we see him act is in Marineford, but that's about it. Like he never actually like go and like he's not a hero. He's not like I'm gonna like make peace and like go and stop fights and shit and like go kill people. Like no, he just he stays in his lane and like when he think the time is right, sometimes he interfere, but that's about it. I feel like he doesn't care enough to do so.
See, I think the exact opposite. I think that Shanks is a peacekeeper, and his entire goal is to try to keep everything balanced. Blackbeard. So there's two outcomes. The person that Shanks was talking about with the Gorosei was Blackbeard, because specifically Blackbeard was upsetting the balance of the world. The second one is that Shanks is a plot, is a ploy, right? And he was talking about Luffy because he thinks that he can take on Blackbeard, but realizes that Luffy is going to shift the balance of the world. Those are the only two people he could really be talking about, and I don't think that Shanks is going to switch up on Luffy. I think it's the first one, and I think that Blackbeard is so powerful and it is so evil that he's going to push the entire world into eternal darkness. And I think that once we start seeing more of the Yami Yami no Mi, we're going to understand why. There's also a reason why Moria was on the island, and we got that scene with the warlords where we see Moria, because if a world is in eternal darkness, what devil fruit is the most powerful? Like eternal shadows.
So you asked why Shanks hasn't gone after Blackbeard, right?
Yeah.
So why hasn't Blackbeard gone after Shanks?
Well, Blackbeard seems to be going after his own plot at the moment. Like Shanks really hasn't been doing anything in the story. Blackbeard has been consolidating power for a while and knew that the easiest and the best way to do it was to take over Whitebeard's crew. Then we saw obviously the Rocky Port incident where he went after one of the Rocks pirates and took him out. And it's like now he's like, okay, now is the time to make our move. And we see that as soon as he says that, he's going after Law. Throughout the story, Blackbeard has been very consistently going after territories and trying to build his status and also trying to get the strongest crew members. What really has Shanks been doing? We don't really know that.
Sitting at the top of the game.
Yeah, not doing anything. So it's kind of like,
I mean, it's lonely at the top. Why would you need to do anything?
why? Like, and here's another thing, right? Like, if Shanks, if Shanks was going after people and he's the strong guy, right? Like he could have probably very easily taken out Kaido if we're going to assume that his he has the strongest hockey's crazy. Like why didn't he go after Kaido if he knew kind of some of the stuff that was happening? He was by Wano's borders for a reason. There has to either be some sort of unknown motives from Shanks, or he was only there solely because he wanted to see make sure that Luffy got out of it alive.
But like as far as we know, we don't know how close he was. He was using his hockey. Like we don't know how far he was. Maybe he was super far and wasn't as close as you think to Wano.
But why is he going past it in the first place? Like, he specifically went past Wano for a reason, and it's like it almost looks like he waited until Kaido was gone to go past.
So
But
hold
I
on.
feel no, I don't think he's scared of Kaido or anything. I just think that it's not his time to, like, interfere. It's not his story. It's not his arc. It's like, we don't need Shanks in this arc.
So
Yeah, Buggy is going through and doing like a ton of stuff throughout the story, even though it's not specifically on him. Like, characters in one.
Okay, have you noticed that Buggy just reappeared after like 1,000 like?
But he's been
years,
constantly
like-
doing stuff in the background. Like, we know what he's been doing. He's been running like an entire pirate like organization.
Yeah,
we know that Crocodile and Mr. One have been going after some unknown motive and goal. What has Shanks been doing in the narrative that they've specifically singled out for being one of the most important characters? And as a Yonko, there's something fishy going on with Shanks.
Maybe we're gonna know more. Maybe we're gonna know more. Like, we just need a few panels. Just the same with Buggy. We got a few panels only. We didn't get like a full story. We just got a few panels of him getting bullied by Crocodile and Mihawk. So I think we'll just need a few panels of Shanks, and I think it's coming. I think we're gonna receive. Like, right now, it's more on. We're gonna get more information from the Revolutionary Army. I feel like this is like the arc for them, and I think that Shanks, it's gonna be a bit after or like in between. So
Hashtag Shanks shapes, but.
So you
I'm not even a fan of Shanks, by the way. I just feel like right now we're being a bit too harsh on him, because I wouldn't like Shanks to be too much in the story, because he's such a powerful character. I just feel like he would ruin like the arcs if he would always be there,
Yeah.
Know what he's doing in the background, because we know what Kaido was doing in the background. We knew what Big Mom was doing in the background. We know that Blackbeard was consolidating power. We understand that the world government has been dealing with stuff with the Reverie and also trying to keep the balance of the world. Every single major force in One Piece, we kind of know what's going on in the background, except for a single person. Though technically two. The first one is Emu, and the second one is Shanks. And it's very weird that those are the two characters that we know basically nothing about.
They be meeting up, but we don't know, bro.
He had a direct audience with the Gorosei. Like, it's insane to me that something like that happened. And listen, I'm not saying Shanks isn't strong. I think Shanks is really strong. I think that Blackbeard's Devil Fruit, though, is just hacks and can just overcome Haki. Personally, because if not, why is he going after Devil Fruits and not going after strong Haki users? Like, I don't think we've seen anybody on his crew use Haki except for him.
Van Auger used it.
Did he?
Yeah. He had to use it with the observation Haki to see the birds.
Oh, well, yeah. But not like advanced conquerors or anything.
No, none of that.
No.
He wouldn't want those people on his ship.
Yeah, exactly. It's just very weird that he's specifically going after Devil Fruits. So if you're going after Devil Fruit, like, you're going and you want Devil Fruit users, you have to you have to have some sort of ace up your sleeve. And I think that's the reason why we didn't see the ending of that Law fight, because it's like he probably then just like totally wiped Law off the face of the earth.
We'll see about that.
The same thing he did to Ace.
We'll see about that.
All right. So let's rewind back. Do you think that Shanks only showed up because Kaido got taken out?
I think that Shanks showed up because Kaido got taken out. Yes. I don't think that he's afraid of Kaido.
Yeah.
I think he was specifically waiting for Kaido to get taken out because Kaido was guarding Pluton. And I think that Shanks is going after the ancient weapons. And I think that that's why we haven't been seeing him in the story. Okay. Because isn't it weird that at the very, like, Kaido was specifically on Wano for a reason, obviously because of the ancient weapon and the road poneglyph. All of a sudden, Kaido gets defeated, and Shanks, who is a character who hasn't really been making any moves, hasn't really been doing anything, shows up in the waters, right? And, like, in that same time, we get confirmation that Pluton is under Wano. What if he was waiting for Wano to open up his borders to get the ancient weapon, Pluton? Because as soon as Wano opens up its borders, the weapon escapes. That's what I think Shanks was doing by Wano. And I think that that's one of the reasons why he then said, well, let's go get the One Piece and start actively looking for that. Because they're going to have to wait now until Momonosuke opens up the borders of Wano.
So you think a man that went to Marine Ford with the entirety of the Marine the Marines there with all three admirals and Sengoku and, Garp and the warlords, Mihawk, all of them. And he said, yo, if anybody wants to keep banging out, you're more than welcome to try. So you think that man who did that was scared of Kaido?
No, I don't think he was scared of Kaido. I just think that he would have taken significant losses. Like I said, I don't think he's scared of Kaido.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Shanks was waiting though, because I don't think that he necessarily knew that he could beat Kaido and get out unscathed enough to take the ancient weapon.
Yeah.
I think that Shanks is equal, even a little bit higher than Kaido. Could Shanks have beaten Kaido? I think so, but I don't think he's like miles above Kaido. Because as we saw, like Luffy was able to beat Kaido, but was taken out for an entire week afterwards. If Shanks would have to have brought his entire fleet over, and I just think it's not worth it to him to risk that, specifically because I think he has some sort of underlying plan. I don't think that he's as strong as people make him out to be, but he's a Yonko, and Kaido put him on the par of somebody who could clash with him, and he clashed with Kaido during Marineford too.
So that's not confirmed. He clashed with Kaido, but he did meet up with Kaido. So my whole thing
but
is,
Kaido always clashes with people. Like Kaido's always gonna go at him.
Well, most
he did the
Yonkos
same
do.
thing with Big Mom.
Yeah, most Yonkos do. Shanks did it with Whitebeard. Well, I will say this. I don't think, personally, that he went after Kaido was defeated. I think that I have no idea why he was at Wano. I'm going to keep it a buck. The only thing I could think of, and you're not going to like it, is that his observation is so damn, great that he probably sensed that something was happening at Wano, and he wanted to go over there because he felt who was there already. He felt that Luffy was there already. That's just me. Because there's no reason as to why he would want to go there. And even when he said to Beckham, yo, let's go find the One Piece. He didn't even bother searching for the poneglyph that might have been there. He was just like, I'm out. Let's just go.
It's just weird that he would just be there. It's also weird that they were like, oh, we're not gonna dock though. Like specifically Shanks' crew was like, oh, we're not gonna dock. Like really? Like why? And I think it's because they were waiting for Wano's borders to open up.
Probably. He probably thinks Luffy is gonna be able to be the one to do it. But I will say this. I don't think you give Shanks too much credit. I think that based on the fact that he doesn't have a narrative, you can't really narratively place him, but he does have feats. There are things that we can say, like the dude is top tier, and it's for a fact. But I will.
Yeah, but we can't place him above Kaido or anything. You know what I mean? Like you can't place him above somebody with feats just because he's been shown to be stronger, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't place him above Kaido as of right now. I think Kaido's number one in the verse, just based off of what we saw, and I still think he had more in the tank.
I agree.
But I will say this, to your Blackbeard point, the reason probably why he's assimilating a crew full of devil fruit users is because if he had any hockey users, he wouldn't be able to control them.
I feel like specifically for Blackbeard, he's been going up against hockey people, and with Law, we know that Law has confirmed hockey, and he's not really scared of hockey. He has his own hockey, and he's been going up against stronger opponents to the point where he's controlling them. A lot of them went with him willingly. If you actually look at what happened, when he told people to go, he was just yo, whoever wins, come with me, come join this crew, this is what I have planned. And I think it's more so his dreams and aspirations to just the lowest denominator of scum alive. His crew is filled with horrible people, which is great, and it's one of the reasons why I love Blackbeard, because his ambitions are probably equal to Luffy's, but just so much worse.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we haven't seen a efficient user of hockey. We can say Law has it, but we know that Law isn't gear 4 Luffy hockey. You know what I'm saying? He's not even gear 3 hockey. So it's he keeps versing all these Devil Fruit users, and he has a Devil Fruit crew. Why? And he hasn't really shown great, hockey himself. I mean, if you can't control your crew because you might not have Conqueror's hockey to that degree, Why not control them? Because you have a Yami Yami and they can't do nothing when you take their powers away.
Mhm.
Because they're
I
so
also
devil
thought
fruit
the
reliant.
same.
I mean, we should probably drop Blackbeard down on the list a little bit, right?
I don't think so. I think you're not giving him enough credit because he has. I mean, Blackbeard has more canon feats than Shanks, man.
Like what?
Bro, it just what happened with the Rocky Port incident
He needed help.
totally destroyed the Whitebeard commanders.
Hold on. But you got to remember, Law and Kobe was there when he was there, and he even thanked Kobe for helping him.
Yeah, but that
Okay.
doesn't mean that he wasn't like a significant help or even that he did the majority of the work, which is kind of implied that Blackbeard was like one of the main driving forces.
We don't.
Blackbeard,
Well, Wang Shi never made noise in the New World, from what we know. So he only made noise when he was on a popular crew.
yeah, but like you could say the same for like Shiki. Like he's technically never made noise, and yet he's probably one of the strongest people in the verse.
Are you-
Like after Rock's Pirates, like Shiki hasn't really been mentioned in the main story. I'm not talking about like think about it. In the main story of One Piece, they barely mention Shiki, but we know that he's incredibly strong because he was on Rox's crew. And it's like with Strong World, we know that Shiki has like insane feats, even though that movie isn't canon. So you could say, oh well, Shiki never made any noise in the New World, or like he never made any noise in the story, and it's like because it's like all we need to know is like these are remnants of Rock's crew. This like Blackbeard mirrors Rox's crew, and it's one of the reasons why we're seeing all of the old members from his crew. Like we saw Blackbeard go after Whitebeard, like Blackbeard, like Kaido fell, Big Mom fell. Like these are all prominent figures from Rock's crew that are going down one by one. If Luffy's crew mirrors Rogers, Blackbeard's mirrors Rock's.
So this is why that's not true, because the disrespect you just gave Shiki is crazy. So Shiki was on Rox's crew. After they disbanded, Shiki went out to almost take out Roger, right? Because he had the biggest fleet at the time. And then a crazy storm happened out of nowhere, and then he lost most of his ships. Roger escaped. Then he went to Impel Down, right? First person ever to escape Impel Down. That's after being disbanded from the Rocks Pirates. Then after that, Roger went to go get executed. And what did Shiki do? He went and showed up to Garp and Sengoku and fought both of them. So like,
yeah, but that was all before the story happened. Like that's like I'm saying, he's not doing anything in the main story. If we get backstory about like the Rocky Port, which we probably will at some point, like then you can be like, oh well, this is what this person was doing there. But like in the main story, you can't say that Shiki has had any impact on the main story.
Not on the main story.
And that's what I'm saying. On the main story, Shiki hasn't had any impact. So how could you power scale him in the main story? The only reason we know stuff about Shiki is because of the data books, because they gave us information because of some Oda SBSs, and then also from the movie stuff and the promo from the movie, which is also very similar to Shanks.
So at first we were talking about feats, and then you said just because he was a Rocks pirate, you know what I'm saying? And we were making a comparison to Wang Shi. Now Wang Shi, there's absolutely no information except he was the 8th person named out of the Rocks Pirates. Now, we can count it as a feat for Blackbeard, of course. We can count it as a feat. But the thing is, there's no information behind Wang Shi. There's no accomplishments. There's no comparisons. There's nobody that even spoke his name until we heard about Full Lead. That was it. So I get you want to say that's a Blackbeard accomplishment, but even so, Law was still there.
Yeah, but Law didn't go like up again. Like from what we know, what Law was there, like he wasn't doing it. But I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree because I don't want Hime to just be sitting here while we're arguing, man.
Oh, it's fine. I was thinking about making a coffee or something because this conversation always comes up. Like I'm getting used to it right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go on to the next question, Larry. Come on, this is your podcast, isn't it? Aren't you supposed to be time limiting things?
Listen, I'm freeballing right now.
Yeah, I know. That's why your arguments suck.
I mean,
Larry.
I feel like I made some good points.
I feel like you're doing reverse arguments here. Like the same thing I said about Shanks, you're saying it about Wang Shi.
Nah, I feel like Shanks has accomplishments though. Like Shanks has done many things.
but not like power accomplishments.
What do you mean? Who in the show has split the sky?
Multiple people. So is Luffy.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
splitting the
who
sky isn't like doesn't
And
mean that you should be respected. But like I
What?
understand 100%. I don't know. Like,
Are
I
you
agree. No,
serious?
wait a minute,
There's
hold
only
on. Go
like
split
4
go spit
people that
your
have done
truth.
it in the show.
no. Like okay, yeah, it's cool and all, but like what are you bringing to the story by splitting the sky? Like, okay, good job. Yahoo.
No, but we're not bringing anything to the story except feats. That's a feat.
But that's not like an actual feat. Like what
A
power
feat
are you
is
gonna put
changing
that to?
something, like an event, doing something that changes
This is
something.
what I'm
Not just
saying.
like, showcasing your power, That's not a
Yeah, like
feat in my opinion.
it's like saying
But
Zoro
look,
slashing Enma is like
Okay.
breaking the tree. That's a feat
Okay.
from Zoro.
So who else in
Is
the
that a feat?
who else in the entire show besides Kaido or even Big Mom can show up to Marineford War and do what he did?
what?
I mean, kind of Whitebeard. Like he
he
literally
was
went
dead.
there and was
He was
just
dead, though.
destroying. Yeah, like a sickly Whitebeard went up and like destroyed almost the entirety of Marineford. They had to get every single Marine there, all of the warlords,
Yeah.
like consolidate all of their power to take
Mhm.
on like basically one man. Whitebeard was pulling the majority of the effort.
Yeah, but I'm counting as Whitebeard already being there and just being dead. Who else, as the 3 I named, could roll up and just be like, "Yo, y'all need to end this war now or take me on"?
Okay, but Luffy has split the sky multiple times, or at
Yeah.
least he split the sky with Kaido. You
Mhm.
think if he's pulling up to Marineford, they're stopping? They're going after him. You know what I mean?
I know.
There's a different. It's not just about power. This is what I'm saying. There is a different level of respect for Shanks, and it's
That's
specifically
true.
for a specific event.
I feel like he didn't even need to split any sky, and people would still stop like the war just because he was there. If you see what I mean.
So are you
Yeah.
hinting that he's just like he just has the power to do so?
No,
Just through narrative?
he's just that guy. He comes and people are like, okay, Shanks is here.
But
Like
that's
he
my.
doesn't even need to showcase anything. This is how I feel about Shanks.
I feel like that's my point, though. That's a feat. That's a bigger feat than anything that Blackbeard has ever done.
It's not
I don't know.
necessarily a feat because it's not a power feat.
Okay, what
What
is a
if the-
feat for you guys? Like, I need to know what is it, because for me, a feat is like doing something like like there's an event that happened and like it changed like the course of the story, or like we remember it like this. Not just you like doing a power move. This is not a feat for me. Like it has to be a fight. It has to be an event. This is a feat for me.
I agree. That's a feat for me too. Like unless somebody is like specifically like going up against like canonically a very strong person in the One Piece verse,
Yeah.
somebody who has advanced forms of hockey, like showing up to Marineford and stopping the war, yes, is very interesting and cool. And I think it shows how much respect the world government has for Shanks. But we also have to realize that Shanks is one of the only emperors who was able to talk to the Gorosei directly. And that doesn't just come with power. It's not just because he's a powerful person. There's something else underlying. And so to call that specifically a feat without knowing the full story of Shanks' background, I just think is a little bit disingenuous because it's basically what you're saying about Wang Shi, where it's like, oh, well, we don't really know about his background or anything. And it's like, well, yeah, but he was a rocks pirate, which is why I'm like, it's impressive that multiple people had to go to that island and to Rocky Port and do multiple things. Like clearly this was a very strong guy, especially for having somebody like Kobe, who's now known as the hero of the Marines for this. Like,
I think we're mixing feat with reputation, because like feat you have to do something, an event, and reputation is just like who you are. And like for example, Dragon, I feel like Dragon has no feats but he has reputation,
Yeah.
if you see what I mean. And this is how I like Shanks. Yeah, Shanks has more feats than Dragon for sure, but he has way more reputation than feats still as a character.
So do you guys consider it a feat that Shanks walked up to Kaido and King right before the war and he walked away unscathed? Can you picture
I would.
anybody else? Is that due to his relations with the world government too?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a far better feat than Marineford.
Okay, so
Because we know that Kaido would probably clash with him, and considering the strength that we've seen from Kaido, yeah, I would consider that a feat, especially if they clashed and they had some sort of thing. Like the same thing with Big Mom versus Kaido. I would consider that a feat for Big Mom.
So is that a bigger feat than anything Blackbeard has done?
To this point, I would say it's probably a bigger feat, but we also don't know specifically if they clashed or not. If they
Okay.
clashed and they had like an actual battle, then yeah, of course, because Kaido is the strongest in the verse and has the most information put up about him.
Um, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I saw you.
Someone in the chat said it's Terrence, I think. He said reputation is built by feats, but what we're talking about here right now is I agree with you. I agree what you said, but what we're talking about right now is feats we saw, not feats that like happened behind our back, like off panel, and we don't know about. This is what I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm talking about feats that we saw, not feats that we didn't see. Like for sure that for him to have this reputation is because he did some actions in the past, you know? It didn't just appear out of nowhere. But since we didn't see them, like I'm talking about feats we saw. So just to make sure like everybody in the chat like is like understanding.
Yeah. It's all about
Yeah,
evidence of probability.
also that Conqueror observation feat from Shanks could have literally just been him combining observation and Conqueror's hockey. That doesn't mean that he's better because we've seen Luffy also combine armament and advanced Conquerors. We know that Kaido specifically couldn't do that, but Kaido also relied heavily on his Conqueror's hockey. To the point where he really didn't even use armament hockey during his fight, and only started using Future Sight when he was going to lose. Like when Luffy had him on the ropes, that's the only time he started using observation. Just because Shanks was able to push his hockey out doesn't mean that he actually like specifically has better feats than Kaido. Kaido has the best feats in the worst because we know that Conqueror's hockey is the strongest feat. And he was able to go toe to toe. We saw the amount of damage that he was able to do, and we saw that he was able to beat Luffy multiple times, which honestly are feats in themselves. Like Kaido has the best hockey in the verse confirmed at the moment. For Shanks, we know specifically from Film Red two things: something about the Figureland family, which we don't know anything about, but we know that it's a very important family that Shanks could be related to, and we also know that Shanks is known as Observation Hockey Killer. So we know that there's something specific with his hockey. Not necessarily that it's more powerful than Kaido's, but that there's something different and it has different
like
properties.
Genetics, you think? From like his family?
That could be too. There could definitely be a mix.
So is that a Shanks feat?
A Shanks feat for what?
For extending his conquerors and observation together to reach the middle of the capital of Wano?
Yeah, that's a feat.
Technically it's a feat, but it's not a power scaling feat. You can't scale power off of that. Which is I think a lot of people are confusing that. Shanks didn't like knock out Green Bull or even damage anything or shatter anything. He just extended his voice out. That could even be an extension of the voice of all things for all we know.
But he made him like retract his devil fruit. That was still like incredible in my opinion. In my opinion, that's a feat in my opinion. Like I was like, oh shit, I was shocked and I still remember it. Like you know. But anyways, so I agree with both of you guys. I feel like we're getting to like a middle ground together at the moment. So
yeah. So
I'm appreciating this because it never happened. But yeah.
So has Blackbeard ever done anything like that?
With hockey? No.
Oh my god,
Okay.
come on. Like we're getting
I'm just listening.
like,
I'm just
why you do this, Larry? Why you do this? Everything was going great.
He was saying
but this is what I'm saying. Like Blackbeard's feats aren't specifically with his hockey, it's with his devil fruit. And every time he's gone up against a person who has a lot of strong hockey, we know Ace does because the 8th novel is canon. Whether you want to agree with that or not, it is. Like specifically, Oda looked it over and said, yes, this is canon. Went through, was the editor for that. We know that Ace had very strong Conqueror's hockey and hockey in general, and still lost to Blackbeard. So, Blackbeard's devil fruit has to have a property to go up against strong hockey users, or else what's the point? So you have to look at his battle feats and the things that he did, rather than, and also you have to look narratively as well. Shanks is an endgame villain. Blackbeard is an endgame villain. Oda has been setting him up for a while.
So did Ace have Conqueror's coding?
I'm not sure. We haven't seen that, but we do know that he has confirmed Conqueror's hockey. Specifically in the anime, we know the confirmed Conqueror's hockey, and in the Ace novel, we know that his hockey was pretty good, considering that he was able to duke it out with Whitebeard.
So did the Ace novel also say he had Future Sight?
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about that.
Did it say he had Rio?
I don't think that he had Rio.
So basically, Ace was fighting with just basic hockey and his devil fruit, which he was exceedingly good at.
But Ace was also proficient in hockey, though. Let's just because you're not doing it, that's like saying, oh well, Luffy, even though he was proficient in hockey, he didn't know Rio. It's like, well, he was still able to beat Doflamingo, which is a feat in itself.
Yeah.
So I think listen, when Blackbeard defeats Law, that better be a good enough feat for you, considering that Law took out a Yonko.
100%.
And it's like
Why?
that's basically what the ending of the fight was setting up. Is that Blackbeard is about to defeat Law, and we're about to see that the Yami Yami no Mi has very special properties and can absorb a lot of things, and is far more powerful than what hockey users can do. Yes, you're right that specifically the two people who Blackbeard has faced, like that we've seen, have been very reliant on their devil fruits. But I think that if you're looking at the Seraphim feat, when he blocked a Seraphim thing that like destroyed an entire island, or cut the mountain in half, like that. I mean, that's a pretty good feat in itself to show that Blackbeard's hockey, I should say, his armament hockey is very good.
Yeah. So this is what I was asking these questions. It's because when we reach these higher tier levels, hockey of the extreme is going to be needed. So if Blackbeard is versing people who are continuously devil fruit reliant, but they have moderate hockey, then we can never place him in those tiers because he wouldn't be able to survive. So Ace is a good feat.
On Big Mom though, like Law and Kid versus Big Mom, like there wasn't really hockey used in that. Are you saying that Big Mom is weak, even though we know that she's on par with Kaido?
Okay. I'm gonna say this for the 100th time. Like the Big Mom fight was a scam. Like Oda downplayed like Big Mom and he did her dirty. She was supposed to be stronger, and like they should have struggled way more against her. Like this fight for me, it never existed because I don't respect this fight, in my opinion. But I know everybody's like, oh my god, Kid, and everybody needed this for Kid to be able to like put Kid on a pedestal. Like everybody wasn't able to do that until then. But like this fight just didn't make sense. Like let's be honest, Big Mom is way stronger than this. It doesn't make sense. The fight didn't make sense. But that's my opinion. But go on.
So basically, it really comes down to like who he fights, and if they have that tier level of hockey, such as Shanks or like a Kaido, he wouldn't be able to survive. So my point being was, if I was to place Kaido and I was to place Blackbeard in front of each other right before Marine War, what happens to Blackbeard? He gets absolutely shredded in comparison to Shanks.
I don't think so from what we've seen with the Yami Yami no Mi.
So what's the Yami Yami no Mi gonna do to a Kaido at that point?
So here's the thing, right? Like we don't necessarily know the exact interworkings of it, but we know, especially because Kaido was in hybrid form, so negation of Kaido's devil fruit, which will be very useful in a fight against Kaido. Let's be honest. Like he was in hybrid form, getting those stat boosts the whole time he was facing Luffy. So a negation of Kaido's hybrid form and devil fruit is going to be a significant handicap on him. And I guess it is. You're right that it is very hard to kind of place Blackbeard in this because every single time Luffy has fought an opponent, they've always had a devil fruit as well. I think that only Don Creed, Arlong, Horty,
Chinjao
can't think of anything.
One.
Who did it?
Chinjao.
Yeah, but he's not like a main villain of anything. I'm talking about like main villain that Luffy faced.
That's a Conqueror's hockey user.
Yeah, but Luffy was able to beat him pretty easily. Like specifically in that arc as well with Dressrosa, like he didn't even have to use Gear 4th to beat him. So, and it was a pretty easy fight. It didn't last very long. And it showed that Luffy's Conqueror's hockey was far beyond even people like Shinjao, who was going up against Garp in Prime. So I don't really count that as like a main person, but like for actual big villains of arcs, the majority of them have all had devil fruits.
So if you take away Katakuri's devil fruit and he's just fighting off hockey, he can still fight, right?
He can, but he's not going to be as good as he is. Let's be honest.
So if you take away Law's ability, how good would Law be?
I think Law, you're right. So Law probably wouldn't be as good, but he also relies on his devil fruit a lot. If you take away Ace's devil fruit, though, Ace is still upper tiers, and we've seen this like with the Ace novel.
Yeah, where in upper tiers?
I mean, he was before he got his devil fruit, he was he was basically a Luffy, like creating a name for himself, being an incredibly notorious pirate. Like when he first started, without his devil fruit. So I'm not really too concerned about that. We also know that he has Conqueror's Haki, as we saw with the flashback after Marineford. So, and it's like, we don't really know too much information, you're right, about the Rocky Port incident with Rox's crew, but from what I'm gathering, I'm assuming that he probably had a devil fruit. If not, his Haki would have to be very high tier. So that's also something. Is it confirmed that Wang Shi had a devil fruit or not?
It's not. We don't know anything about him.
Yeah, might be getting more information up and coming. But I mean, like, narratively, Blackbeard has always been one of the endgame villains too.
Yeah.
Always been put up there with, like, specifically when they're talking, like Shanks, Luffy, and Blackbeard are put on a very equal line. Like, they're kind of on the same.
Yeah.
So just to say that, like, oh well, Blackbeard doesn't have feats. It's like Shanks doesn't really have feats either, and most of Blackbeard's feats are battle feats. Whereas Shanks doesn't have very many battle feats except for the Marineford stuff.
But the battle feats he does have outweigh anything Blackbeard has ever done.
Do you think that the Marineford thing would outweigh Blackbeard's?
I think that just splitting the sky outweighs Blackbeard's.
Can we agree to disagree?
How many people?
Yeah, let's get off of this.
No, but that's the thing.
It's never gonna end.
But the thing is, it's like how many people have actually split the sky in the show?
Oh my god, this is not like what is the most important in the story. I'd rather someone who changed the history than split the sky.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not a power scaling feat though. Like, splitting the sky will show equal rank, but it's not going to be. Hime's right. Like when you're actually talking about feats, talk about actual battle feats instead of just like the splitting the sky. Because what does that mean? How much Haki does it take? Can we quantify that?
Okay.
Do you have to use advanced conquerors to split the sky? Is this just base conquerors? Like, we don't really know.
Well, so we do know that you need a certain level.
Splitting the sky, like to use the splitting the sky, and it's like back then, was Whitebeard really going all out when he split the sky? Like, was he using massive amounts of Haki? Like what was happening with Shanks and Whitebeard?
Could have been.
Like, we didn't see very much.
Well,
so
we've seen every time the sky is splitted, there's a mass amount of Haki being used.
I mean, yeah, there is a lot, but it's like, can you quantify that? Like, what does it take to split the sky?
Well, put it this way. Chin Zhao and Luffy, when they clashed and used their conquerors, they didn't split the sky at that point.
Yeah, but Chin Zhao's also very weak.
I know,
and with power scaling doesn't have a lot.
But when you have a conqueror doing that and a non-conqueror doing that, you would suggest that the conqueror that's doing that is way stronger than the non-conqueror, right? To split the sky.
Yeah, but Doflamingo and Luffy didn't split the sky either.
Exactly.
And Doflamingo is incredibly powerful.
Exactly, and that's where it comes into terms of tears. So when we reach certain tier levels, that's when you are able to do such things as that. And the fact is, they weren't up there.
Roger and Whitebeard during their one clash with Advanced Conquerors Haki, they did not split the sky at that moment.
Wait, what did you say?
The Roger and Whitebeard situation, they didn't split the sky. Splitting the sky isn't a feat. It's very cool, and it's used to symbolically show that these people are in the higher tiers, but it's not a feat.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this means you're powerful, but like a feat. As I said, we have different meaning for feats. I'm not saying Shanks isn't strong. Like, for me, he's like he's close to, like, he's up there.
Probably top 10 in the verse.
No, he's like at least top 5, at least.
Who?
What?
Who?
Bro, really?
Who's not top 5? Or who's what?
I think Shanks is top 10 in the verse, but you can't say that. You can't put him above Kaido. I think that at this point we'd have to see how he does against Akainu. Eam, like with the ancient weapon, I don't even know if Shanks can go up against them. Dragon, another featless character, but I think that they're probably very equal. Mihawk, who actually has feats that we can put, I would put above Shanks at the moment. So there's 5 characters right there that I could put above Shanks, and I didn't even include Blackbeard in it.
Wait, Mihawk is above Shanks?
Yeah, we have more feats.
Mr. I need to team up with Crocodile and Buggy.
We know that Shanks or Mihawk doesn't like to be in the spotlight at all and just wants to do his own thing. And teaming up with the Cross Guilds is the best way to do that. And he even says, like, I don't care about becoming a Yonko. Like, I just want to be able to do my own thing.
Look, I agree on most of the points, but I feel like we know by now that Shanks is at least in the top 5 for, like, strongest.
Well, we will have to see what feats he actually has. Like, let's see. Like, the first fight with Shanks is going to determine what people think about him.
I mean, he had many fights, but yeah, for 100%. Like, you know what? I always tell this to people. Like, let's see what Oda shows us.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, yeah, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on that one. But you guys ready for the second question?
Wow, number
Yeah,
two.
finally 1 hour and like 20 minutes after.
Because Larry likes to argue with me, and then I feel so bad
wasn't
because he might
arguing.
just sitting there like,
You guys like are like
I wasn't arguing.
you like you guys are like children when it comes to like Shanks and Blackbeard.
Yeah, this is my
This
sister.
always happen. This
stepsister.
always happen.
Uh,
And I'm over here like I'm neither a fan of neither of them because I don't care for them. But like,
Listen, I
anyways.
wasn't arguing. I was just asking questions. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right, Larry. Yeah. Right. Okay.
I was just asking questions.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
We disagree on that. We just asking
Yeah.
questions.
Next question, please.
My bad. My bad. All right. So during chapter 1069's cover story, we saw Dufeld, right? He's one of the emperors of the underworld known as the God of Fortune, standing in front of a ship with the name Mads on it. As we know, Mads was first created by Vegapunk, Caesar Clown, Judge Vinsmoke, and Queen. But something interesting happened to be discovered during chapter 358, page 3. Frankie's shown after trying to stop the sea train. He's all like bloody. He's in like the water. He notices a ship. This ship looks very, very similar to the Mad ship that we saw on the newest chapter's cover story. And that same ship, Frankie ended up turning his front body into like a cyborg, like into metal. Do you think there's any connection between that ship that Frankie, modified himself on and the ship we just saw? I could throw the picture up in the chat for you.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused.
You know what I'm talking about, Chestnut. Did you want to go?
I do know what you're talking about, but I feel like I've already stated my opinion that I think it could happen, and I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I'd rather let Hime talk on this, considering that me and you just fought for 30 minutes while she sat and watched us like our mom.
I mean, I don't know if I'll have a lot of things to say about this. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even understand his question.
Yeah.
Like, is it like he's asking if like the two ships are related?
Yeah, I'll show
to each
you.
other?
Yeah, there's so with the two ships, like specifically that the mad scientists were the ones that picked up Frankie, which I think could be possible. I just think it's a fun theory. There's not too much to go on right now. We're gonna definitely have to see with the rest of the cover pages.
Oh, you think he was modified in a mad laboratory?
Yeah.
Like,
and then do
okay.
you have the chapter 1069 cover story?
Yeah, I have it open. Yeah.
Yeah, so you see how it looks very similar?
Yeah, I can't yeah. I mean, it does look similar. Yeah, it does really look similar. I mean, that would make honestly a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like how would he get this body and this how would he get this modified, like by who? Like it makes sense. It actually makes honestly I'm in for this. Like it makes sense.
The difference between the two boats is that boat that Frankie jumped on, the sails are like ripped. Like you're looking at the picture right now. Like the sails are ripped, like the bars are like torn. There's like broken barrels and stuff on it too.
Yeah. It's probably another ship, but like the same design, you know?
Same design. And it was like a little crazy like little thing that came up, and I hit up Chestnut mad late, and I was like, "Yo, I just found something crazy." I don't know if it's a foreshadow though.
But do you think because they modified him, they could like I don't know, like hit a switch and like control him at some point?
You mean Frankie?
Yeah.
Nah. I don't think anybody was on that ship. I think he just went onto it somehow, like, and then he just modified himself through his chin or something like that. I have no idea. But it's interesting because if those two are the same ships, that just means that, this ship was probably Vegapunk and the other guys' ship, and they were working on it, and then they just abandoned it at a certain point.
But like maybe they have many ships and like Vegapunk wasn't on that ship. Maybe, like I feel like they would have a lot of ships. No?
Yeah, they most likely would.
It's Mads is really weird because they've kind of been in the story for a while, and again, we don't have too much information on them, but we specifically know like a couple things. We know that Caesar, Judge, and Queen were all part of Mads at some point. led basically by Vegapunk. We know that they were specifically working in the realm of like devil fruit modification and body modification, because we know that there was a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Like the devil fruits going there, the children modification, Judge making his clones. Like there was a lot of that stuff like throughout One Piece. So it makes sense that that would be a mad ship too, considering that Frankie did body modification on himself, and that's like the specific realm that they've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
But why would they abandon a mad ship? Like it's too important. Like there's many information on it and stuff. Like that's so fishy. I don't know.
It is kind of crazy though, because that means that Frankie has been tied to Vegapunk ever since that chapter.
Yeah.
So he went to that ship. Vegapunk probably left some tech on there, right? Then he went to
Yeah.
Vegapunk's hometown during a 2-year time skip, and he worked on actual blueprints that were left there. And now he's on Egghead meeting Vegapunk once again, but in front of like he's in his face now.
Yeah, but like isn't like didn't Vegapunk like maybe notice some shit like about Frankie? No?
Oh,
Like he would
no.
notice some stuff. Like he should.
He definitely should, considering that during the time skip, Frankie was rebuilding himself with Vegapunk's technology.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would notice if somebody were using my stuff, you know?
Also, I think Shaka saw the laser beam that Frankie shot out towards the S Shark, the Seraphim, and he was like, "Yo, what was that? Like, how did he do that?" So that means that Vegapunk, the actual Vegapunk, knows because they're all connected. But he's so fascinated by the White Warrior of Liberation, Luffy, the Sun God Nika. Yeah, he didn't really pay attention to Frankie, but you know.
Yeah, they saying you're chewing too loud.
Huh?
They saying you're chewing too loud,
Oh,
fam.
am I?
Stop smacking your lips on stream.
Yo, like,
Yo, I don't
why
chew
you
my
always
mouth
hungry,
open.
man? What the hell?
Yo, you guys can hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Honestly, I was
Yeah, but-
talking at the same time.
Oh,
so
my
no,
bad.
but-
My bad.
Yeah,
Yo,
I
you
was-
guys
I
should have
was
told me.
I'm listening to Hime. I'm not listening to you smacking your lips, licking your lips, smacking them.
I wasn't even licking
He's
them.
like marinating the
He goes like-
lies he's about to say. The L takes.
So, Hime, this question's for you. So,
Yeah.
I know I talked to Chestnut about Lucci, but specifically, there is a taking sides in the community as to how people feel about Lucci and where they stand
Yeah.
on the situation. So I don't think I've heard from you, but how do you feel about Lucci and what do you think about his like new awakened form? Like, what does it do for you?
I really don't. I like his awakening form. I was like, yo, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like he looks really cool, and like I like the small like clouds and shit.
Mhm.
But I don't like the fact that he's like impulsive because he was always like this cool, this cool guy who has like a brain, like who's using his brain all the time and stuff. But right now he looks like he's just rushing into a fight, and he's not even waiting
Mhm.
for the like his boss to tell him like he can fight. Like actually, I kind of told them to wait until Kizaru gets there, but like you see Lucci just like fighting, and he doesn't care. I really don't like that, but I think it's because of his awakening, because you kind of lose yourself when you can't control it yet, or well, I don't know if he can control it yet, but he seems like he's losing his mind a bit, and he's too impulsive. I don't like it. Like his personality right now, I don't like it.
Why you don't like it? It fits.
Because as I said, no, but that's the thing. Because like he was, back in the days, like he was like, this cool guy who was like, I don't know what like how to describe him, like,
Mhm.
but he wouldn't like rush in a fight this way. He would wait. He would like follow orders, and he would like
That
he
is
would
true.
use his brain. He would use his brain. Right now, I feel like he's just jumping to like to like he's like running to his death doing this like against Luffy with no plan, and like disregarding all the orders and his team.
Yeah.
He's not thinking straight, in my opinion.
Mhm.
This is what I don't like. I feel like he's not that type of guy. Why are you doing this? I feel like he's letting his anger control him and get the best of him.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that sounds good too.
But he's still cool. Like
Yeah.
like his form is amazing. Like I'm loving it. Like really.
I think he's cool, man. I think Lucci's cool. He's always been cool pre-time skip. I just think that post-time skip he doesn't fit. but I get it. But
Yeah.
speaking
It's
of
very
Most of
Lucci,
the
Lucci
introduction,
consider.
I don't know about Shell, but I feel like they like the introduction was like it doesn't it was how to say this. It's like, surprise, we're here. Like this is how I felt. Like
Mm.
I don't feel like he fit the story at the moment. I just feel like it was just randomly added there for fan service. I just like first of all, why are you here? Why are you returning? And like why are you returning this way? I
yeah.
just feel like it's like Oda who lost a bet with someone, and like that person was like, "Yo, you need to bring back Lucci." And like he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna bring him back real fast." Like, "Okay, let's make a fight." Like, yeah, fast, fast, fast. Okay, cool. Now Kizaru is coming. Like Kizaru is the main event,
Yeah.
and then maybe the Revolutionary Army if they actually come. Like I feel like Lucci is like the entree to like a 5 service.
Yeah. So would you have preferred somebody else, like a new character, or like
No, I would have just. I think I don't know if I would have like. Maybe, honestly, yeah. I didn't need to see. I mean, look, I feel bad saying this because I know there's a lot of Lucci fans, but like I feel like like his story ended. What are you doing here? This is how I feel. Like, I still like him. I still like him. I just don't see the necessity of having him back. I
yeah.
mean, you got defeated. Like, take your L and go home. I don't know. This is. I'm sorry. I mean, he's gonna take a double L, double L
Take
and
your
go
L
home.
and
But
go. That's hilarious, bro.
as I said, he's still super cool, but we know
Oh,
he's taking another L. Like, why are you doing this to him? Like, the only person who can take multiple L and still be a W is Buggy. Nobody else. The
Yeah.
rest, you just look stupid. Why are you laughing?
Yo, you're too funny, man. It's because you when you make these like when you say these things, you add in like your comedy. It's just funny as hell, bro. You do it all the time too. Like even when we play like Overwatch, you feel like, damn, yo, I only died twice.
Yeah, trash.
So all right, so here's a hot take I wanted to bring up because somebody said it yesterday by the name of Kid Leo. He said that uh Luffy right now wouldn't be able to beat Law. Is that a super hot take or is that justifiable?
Plain stupidity. Does really someone think that Law is beating Luffy?
Yeah.
Listen, listen, like I I have no words for this. I'm sorry. What?
Listen, it was
Look,
yo, listen.
it could look. The only way that it could happen is for Luffy to be like, unconscious. If that makes sense, like or in water, and like just Law like throwing stuff at him in water. I don't know, bro. Like,
Yeah. Listen. I thought it was crazy. Yo, when he said it in the Discord yesterday, everybody was like, "What?"
Leo just be saying stuff to get people riled up.
he
I
want
think so.
reaction. Okay, he wants reaction. Like Leo, look, I must say, I respect the fact that you had the courage to say this because I'll be saying wild shit about Buggy too, and people be making fun of me. But mine are facts. This one, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild.
And I've already debunked this in the Discord, but
What?
Luffy has better.
Didn't need debunking.
Yeah,
Didn't
Luffy.
need-
Luffy has better hockey feats. Law doesn't have the attack potency to hurt Luffy. That's it. That's the entire argument that needs to. I could also add that Law's Devil Fruit is specifically for support and is more movement based. But considering that Luffy has mastered Fuser Sight and his advanced Conqueror's hockey and his reaction speed has been shown to be on par with Law's Devil Fruit on multiple occasions, like it's not a close fight. Luffy's beating Law. Law also just doesn't have the durability. We see this after like Luffy multiple times has been defeated by Kaido and got back up and did all this stuff. Kaido was defeated technically multiple times and got back up from these fights. Law didn't take very much damage, and yet during the Big Mom fight, like he got like he did what he did, and then that was it. And he was like, "All right, I'm laying down." Like that's it. Like Luffy just has better durability feats.
Yeah.
I must say, Leo did something. He made it like he made his take come to this podcast. He did something. He did. Maybe that was you. Honestly, good job, bro. GG. Like
Yeah,
your take made it to the podcast. Like that's something. That
he's
is
cooking.
something.
He's cooking food, but he's cooking something. That's for sure.
Good job. Good job.
So, I guess to end the podcast off with the last question, where do you not where do you what do you ladies think is going to happen next chapter? Because we are on a break. We're not going to get another chapter for 12 more days. So, what do you think is going to happen with this big break? Like, what's the next chapter you think is going to be? And is it going to be like a 10 out of 10 chapter? So, we'll start with Hime because you look the most excited.
Honestly, I have many theory about it. I think that it's either we're gonna have a bit more of revolutionary army, to like hype us up a bit,
Mm-hmm.
like start like the end of the break like in a hype way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be like maybe not 10 on 10, but a good chapter, a good chapter because we need it after a long break. He can't just like pull a crappy chapter. So it's either we're gonna receive like more information about where the Revolutionary Army are going. Are they going to Egghead? Are they going like somewhere else? What are they doing? What is Kuma's doing? Like, I think it's either this or maybe we'll see like Kizaru like arriving at Egghead. But I feel like in Oda's style, he doesn't do shit like one after like he doesn't like follow how to say this step by step. Like he wouldn't show us Kizaru right now. He would show us something else and then come back to Kizaru. This is how I feel like Oda roll. So I'm leaning towards more the Revolutionary Army, maybe, but not the whole chapter. At least a bit of it, and then go back to maybe Zoro and like wait, where are Zoro and Brook right now? Are they?
They're
are
on
they
the
still?
sunny.
Yeah,
they're
maybe something with them. Maybe something with them and maybe go back to like Luffy and the rest. Anyways, but some revolutionary army in my opinion.
Yeah. What do you when you bring the revs up, what do you mean by the revs? Like what is gonna happen with the revs? Like they're just gonna
like where are they going? Because they are gonna make a move.
You think they're gonna come to Egghead?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like I feel like Kuma feels something and wants to go to Egghead because of like the Vegapunk thing and like his daughter, but I feel like he's not making Oda's not gonna make them go to Egghead, but they're gonna go somewhere. Like they are gonna make a move. I don't know where, but like maybe it would be better if actually they don't go to Egghead and then Luffy escapes with Vegapunk, and then Vegapunk actually meet Kuma and like like whatever he needs to do on Kuma, he does it. That would make way more sense. And then Kuma like meets up his daughter in the meantime at the same time.
Yeah.
I would prefer this than them going to Egghead because that would be way too much. Like there's already Kizaru, there's already our pigeon guy, there's like the Straw Hat, and then you want to put the Revolutionary Army and like that would be too much. So yeah.
The pigeon guy.
Yeah, I like his I like this. I'm gonna call him the pigeon guy. It's so much cooler.
That is what he is. He is the pigeon guy.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you see what I mean.
According to Luffy.
So yeah.
All right. What about you, Chess?
All right. So sorry, I'm responding in the chat because people are trying to drop chapters, and I don't see where they're. I need like chapter and verse because y'all can't just drop a chapter and think that it's right. And please be using please be using the official Viz translation if it's out. Please and thank you.
Oh, but it's about sky splitting.
Yeah, about the sky splitting. Just because I don't see where it's mentioned, and I'm not seeing it in this chapter, man. Like I'm not
Roger
seeing
Yamato.
Yeah.
It's after they clash.
So 966 page 6 is the clash. You see the clouds and you don't see any sky splitting as Oda has drawn it in Shanks versus Whitebeard, and Luffy versus Kaido, and that's what I was specifically saying. The other guys that in the anime you see like the clouds being pushed, but you also see everything being pushed out, which isn't indicative of a sky splitting feat, considering that we didn't see it with Luffy and Kaido, or we didn't see it with Shanks versus Whitebeard, or else their entire ship would have been destroyed. That was just their raw power. That's not specifically Conquerors, because we saw that everything was being pushed off the island. That's not a sky splitting feat.
Yeah, we won't get
So
into
yeah,
it
and then
again, but
no, I'm not getting into it. I
Yeah.
just wanted to do it because podcast is almost over. But for the next chapter, definitely think that we're going to get Kizaru at the end. I think that we're going to be getting some Kuma action at some point. Definitely going to see Seraphims versus Luffy with Lucci, which is going to be a lot more fair of a fight for Lucci, considering that Luffy was just like dog walking him and not really caring. Like just in the middle of the fight, just stopped fighting him and
Yeah.
just started talking to
So
somebody
sad.
else. I love Lucci. I love the fact that he's back in the story. I love his literary significance, but he's just not as strong as Luffy, and so I think it's going to be a really well balanced fight from now on. For Kizaru, I don't expect him to show up during at the place of the fight right now. I expect him to show up on the outskirts. I do see maybe even like Zoro and Brook accidentally running into him, and then trying to stop him from getting to the island. But other than that, I see maybe Bonnie waking up. Maybe even an interaction between Kuma and Bonnie at some point at the very end of the chapter. But yeah, that's all I see for now.
How the interaction?
Maybe
from
probably
far?
just Bonnie. Yeah, probably just Bonnie seeing Kuma and getting very emotional, worked up. I don't think we're going to be getting a lot in this chapter in terms of actual in-depth stuff like how we did with this chapter where it was just this huge lore drop. So it's probably going to be like a hype chapter where we're going to see Kizaru pull up, we're going to see Kuma pull up, we're going to see some cool shit from the Seraphim, but other than that, that's basically going to be it. It's going to hype us up for the next chapter, so we're like, all right, where is this going? What are these characters going to do?
No, 100%. Yeah.
I just keep thinking of things I want to see instead of things that I know that are probably going to happen for sure. So I think that the chapter is going to start out pretty slow. And then I think we're going to get some more Devil Fruit lore. I think Vegapunk is just going to keep going with something new, and it's going to give us something more to talk about. I think he might talk about the differences between the Yami Yami and the Sun God Nika fruit. I think that might be brought up somehow. Then I do think that Kizaru lands on the island at the end, but I think he meets Zoro, and that will be the hype for that chapter, besides all the lore dump that we might get. So it'll bring back that, you attacked us at Sabaody Archipelago, and I wasn't able to do anything because I was hurt still from my fight that I was in. And now I get to confront you with Enma in my hand, and Brook is there, and you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a really hype moment. I hope that happens. I feel like that would be really good for the story. But again, every time I know what's going to happen, I keep going to what I want to happen. And I think that would be really nice.
I hope that if Kizaru is not fighting Luffy, which is going to happen in my opinion, I hope he fights Zoro and not Sanji. I'm sorry to say this. Yeah. So I'd rather this happen than him go fight Sanji. Just saying.
It would go either way. I think it'd be really interesting to see the revs. I think again, anytime the revs are on screen, I feel like One Piece gets better because the revs are a part of the story that they add so much flavor to it that it's kind of criminal the way Oda leaves them out most times. And
it's 3 words.
Yeah. And
the pirates, marine, and the revs.
So I wasn't too sure how the revs would make it to Egghead if they actually came through to Egghead. And I figured that since we all suspect that Dragon has this weather fruit, and anytime he's ever been shown, there's intense wind that comes through. And even when he was in Logtown, he flew onto the ship with Sabo in his hands. And it showed he flew onto the ship, right? So he would just put up the sails and he would just throw wind at his sails and just get there in no time. So that's one way that the revs would show up. But if they did, I think that the Marines would have to bring extra help. So you can't have Luffy and Dragon versus Kizaru and Lucci. I feel like they would get wiped. And then Kuma's also there. It's just a wiping for the Marines. So I don't know what's going to happen next chapter. I'm going to be real.
Unless Kuma sends them away. I feel like the Straw Hats are going to get split up again. I feel like Oda does this every...
No.
No.
You're going to jinx us. Don't do this.
They're going to get split up again. They're going to get split up, and it's going to happen, and we're going to have to accept it.
you know why it's not gonna happen? Because the story is ending soon at some point. Like he doesn't have time to do that unless he want
That's
to
true.
extend it for no reason. And he wouldn't do that because like that would fuck up the whole dynamic at the moment. And like
Mhm.
it just doesn't work in my opinion. And as I said, I don't think the Revolutionary Army are actually going to Egghead. I feel like when Luffy is gonna escape with Vegapunk and like Bonnie, probably they're gonna meet at some point. This is how I see that it's gonna happen. Because there's too many people right now on Egghead. There's gonna be too many people on Egghead, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be disgusting. You know, like in Wano, there were way too many people in my opinion. So
Yeah.
we don't want to repeat Wano once again.
That's why I think Luffy and his crew might be sent flying somewhere else.
But yeah, if you want them to be flying somewhere else, Kuma has to be there. And as I said, they're
Yeah,
not coming.
I think Kuma's gonna be there. I think
No.
they're gonna get sent flying.
Okay.
Luffy going to the
Okay.
moon confirmed, which he might. I think Luffy going to the moon is actually something that
How
could
would he get
genuinely
back
happen.
down?
Okay. Listen. I have a
Probably through
question.
now.
Okay, I have a
Probably through
question.
the
Okay.
ship. Go ahead,
I have a question,
Hime.
okay. Logically speaking, right now they're fighting, right? And like Kuma sensed it when they were starting to fight. So they have to go on a ship and like make the whole trip and get there. Like the fight would have been already over. Everybody would have escaped, or Egghead would have been destroyed by then. So logically speaking, they cannot go unless like they have the teleportation fruit, and I don't know about it. Or they were close by, like plot wise, like oh my god, they were close. Wow, like it's not happening. No, it's not happening. It's not happening.
I do think
It's
that the
not happening.
Bonnie and Kuma reunion is gonna be very much towards the end of Egghead.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
think that's gonna be like.
I think
soon.
Egghead is ending very soon. I think that it's gonna be a very small arc. Like I feel like it's ending already.
How many chapters
Like, I
were in?
think
Like 6?
yeah, I think this is gonna be like 12 chapters. I'm gonna be honest.
No
Like
way.
that's.
I
I mean,
I thought it was gonna be like 31. Like 31
listen,
chapters minimum.
I don't mind, but I want that when Kuma actually meet, you know, his daughter to be something emotional, not in the middle of a fight. That would ruin the whole moment for me. So that's why I don't want them to go there now. Like there's many reasons for them not to go there. And that's like one of them.
You know what would be really good? So you know how like Bonnie wants to kill Vegapunk, right? So
yeah.
she's about to kill him because Kuma is the way she is. I mean the way he is. And like as soon as she's about to kill him with like a saber or something like that, Kuma comes out of nowhere, like pops right in front of her, grabs her arm and stops her from killing Vegapunk, and he just looks at her. And like he's all roboticed out, but like Vegapunk's like all scared, and Bonnie looks up and then she starts crying because it's like her actual dad. And then Vegapunk goes, I wanted to tell you like I could bring him back. But she's like so freaking angry and disgusted with him that like it was hard for her not to hold back. And like Kuma just stops her. I think that would be a
but not on Egghead.
powerful emotional scene, and it would do that so much justice.
Yeah, but not on Egghead.
I would like that.
Somewhere else. Somewhere else.
I listen. I think that Luffy going to the moon at some point is a big possibility. I think that especially because Kuma's there, he could just send him flying. I'm gonna be honest, it is a very plausible theory, considering that Vegapunk has had multiple rocket ships as well. So the rest of the Straw Hats could technically meet them on the moon. If stuff were to happen on the moon, we would get a lot more lore drops, considering the Enel cover story, which is one of the only reasons that I'm bringing this up.
Okay, I have something to say to I guess like counter argument this. I think that we don't have enough information about Kuma's fruit, but I feel like his power fruit, whatever, he has to have been to that location to send someone. I think that would make way more sense than him being able to just send someone like in space, because that would be way too strong.
Forward. He just like sends them forward. Just like
but like how but that doesn't make sense. Like how far can he send them? How far can he send them? That makes no sense.
Yeah, she is so funny, bro.
Like I feel like he needs to know like the location. He needs to have been there to be able to do that. No, like that would be like too strong to just send people to the moon. Imagine he would be sending all his enemies to the moon. No,
maybe the moon holds ancient technology. The moon holds like a ton of secrets. And being a revolutionary and also being in cahoots with Vegapunk, he's probably like, listen, like there's some stuff on the moon, right? Like there's some
Okay,
juicy
why isn't
details.
he sending all his enemies to the moon then to like get rid of them?
I don't know. He can just like send them everywhere else. You probably have to get the trajectory
Yeah.
just right.
I'm gonna
Okay,
keep
so
it.
he
like-
can send people in underwater, for example.
To the moon.
No, but I'm just saying, like, he
To the
could send all
moon.
the whole fruit juicer underwater too. I feel like there's something that isn't working. Like there's something about his power that we probably don't know, and I feel like he has to have been there to be able to do that. But that's just my theory. I don't know.
I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. I feel like I don't care about the moon at all. No matter what secrets are on the moon, I don't care. I don't want to go into outer space, bro. I'd rather just be like on the world and just find the secrets here. Same thing with Anel. Like, I love Anel, but I don't want him to come back just because he has moon knowledge. Like, that would be so whack to me.
Listen, I don't like the concept of them going in space, but I can see the concept of them going in space. I can see the moon becoming important.
We need the moon at some point, but
Yeah,
not in
like
this way.
it has to happen. Like this is the only this is the only point where they could actually be in the moon. Like this is the only point that they could go up there. If not, what was the point of the Anel cover story? Like unless Anel is coming back down at some point to give information. Like there's a lot of information and stuff on the moon.
Yeah, I totally agree. We need a moon mini arc at some point, but like it doesn't have to be Kuma sending Luffy to the moon. Like I'm so against it. Like I don't want this to happen. I want to see how they go to the moon actually. I want to see their technology, not the let's go. No, this is not what I want to see. How is he coming back? How is he coming back?
Anel has a ship up there.
Okay, so this is fan fiction.
That's not true. Anel literally took his ship and sky drove it into the stratosphere onto the moon.
So Enel is seeing Luffy. Is like, oh, bro, do you need a ride back home?
To be fair, is that not exactly what happened with Crocodile? Like Luffy.
Let's go on the trip.
Listen.
Is that the crocodile not like totally go and follow?
Honestly, we could be laughing, but imagine this happens. I'm not actually like I would have no words.
I'm gonna laugh so much.
Me too, bro.
I see.
I feel like I don't know. I've just never been fond of the whole trip to the moon or going to the moon. Like all that information could be written on a tablet or in Vegapunk's notes, and we just find out that way.
I wouldn't mind if there was like some basement or something, like a basement that Vegapunk has.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, there's a chip inside of Shaka's head. Like, isn't that enough?
No, have you guys ever seen like the? I feel like I'm actually going to spoil Attack on Titan, but there was like everybody was always talking about like Aaron's dad's basement.
Yeah, the basement.
Bunch of secrets. Like I would love to see that, but filled like in one piece, like just filled with a bunch of information about the Void Century that like he technically like has to be just written down and doesn't want to get out and like doesn't want people connecting and figuring this stuff out. Like I feel like that'd be really interesting.
Don't we already had this in Ohara, like inside of like the whole books, and then Vegapunk having all inside of a ship? Like this isn't this the basement in a way?
Yeah.
Ohara's books weren't all on the Void Century. Like that was just the information that the scholars had, and I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, that was all Void Century stuff. Like, and that was just like there was probably like
the
history,
rest,
geography,
the real
like that was
history.
Like that was just everything that they found.
Yeah,
there was Void Century stuff for sure. But more so because like the poneglyph and it was sparsed so much throughout and they were keeping it hidden. Like the actual books that they were going for was just the scholar's knowledge. Like they were able to like take away like the other information.
Do you think it's like on Marijua or somewhere like that?
The poneglyph? That could
be. The whole the basement.
Oh, that could be. Dude, the base. Listen, like the concept of a basement holding world-changing information that's just a lock away. I mean,
it's so cliche when you think about it, but yeah.
But listen, right? Like Emu is underneath Marijua in a basement, and there's a treasure
maybe it's there.
Under Marijua. We saw a gigantic straw hat down there. There's something going on. All I'm saying is go watch Larry's Theory on a Joy Boy graveyard.
Bro. That Joy Boy was a giant. I think he was a giant. Why would the straw hat be so big?
You
This
know what they
makes no
say about
sense.
big straw hats.
Pause.
Listen, what I
So we
will
need to
say.
end the stream.
So I will say this: if Luffy ended up going up to the moon, I don't even want to know what the One Piece is anymore because I feel like that's a bigger achievement than finding the One Piece at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly,
Like,
you're
enough into
tripping.
it.
You're tripping. You're tripping. You're
Yo,
tripping.
And now,
Nah,
bro,
nah.
Anel went up there like on some like,
We need
you know what I'm
listen.
saying? Like,
We still need explanation. Like that's the thing. That's
how
the
many
thing.
people could go
Oda
to the
isn't the
moon?
type. Oda isn't the type. Like as I said, we don't need to see Luffy on the moon, but we need to see the moon at some point with like some information regarding that, because Oda will never present something without explaining it. Like imagine One Piece ends and we never knew what the fuck is the moon and how people go to the
Yo,
moon
I'd be
and what is
okay,
the
bro.
moon and
I'd be okay.
you would be okay
I
because you
would.
don't care about like missing you like the void centuries, right? We care about getting all the information, bro.
Yo, I'm fine with getting all the information here at home.
We're here
we have
inside of like
information
a
at home,
non-factual,
guys.
non-canon forum.
Yeah,
Like
so
I need the real shit.
listen, then Luffy's the space pirate king. I mean that's the new term for him.
Bro,
Then,
he
right?
does, as I said, he doesn't need to go to the moon. I just need to see some panels of like maybe NL on the moon talking and like dropping some knowledge or some bars, and then I'm gonna
Some
be like,
bars?
okay, fine, now I see what the moon is, you know? I just need some panels about the moon just to get like some information.
Yeah, I mean the moon is cool. It could stay
Listen,
cool.
Listen, the reason that there's stuff on the moon is because there's a lot of Greek influences in One Piece, specifically with the ancient weapons. And go check out my theory of why Laugh-Tale's underwater. But the moon is related to the goddess Artemis, right? And it's like because of that, because there's such a connection to ancient weapons and Greek mythological beings, there's a very big possibility that there's a lot of very interesting stuff on the moon, specifically tying into Greek mythology. And from the civilization that we saw on the moon, and from the fact that Enel is up there, and that we got this cover story with like ancient hieroglyphics that depict like all of these different types of things, there is going to be a connection to at least the information stored there. That's all I'm saying.
Shit, I would like that. Just put it in a dictionary or something like that, bro.
Bro, I just need the information. I don't care how I get the information. I just need the information.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say this, but if Pigeon Guy was able to come back, Enel can come back at this point.
Man, y'all don't like Rob Lucci.
I like him. I just feel like it was forced. It was forced, you know. It was forced to us, kinda in a way. Like it could have been introduced way better. I don't know,
bro.
whatever.
Too funny, bro. Pigeon guy.
What? What did you say?
Yeah, I hate that Lucci's back. I'm not gonna front. Fuck Lucci,
y'all are tripping.
Fuck
It's
Lucci,
such good
bro.
symbolism.
Yeah, but listen. Like
that.
he chose the wrong opponent. He should. You know what? Sanji can. I'd like Sanji to go against Lucci, and I'd like Kizaru to go against Zoro, and then I guess Luffy can just chill. How about that?
Listen, I'm not talking specifically about them like going up to the moon and like going and like having like a big moon adventure. I just want information from Enel
Yeah,
to
me too.
eventually get back down. And I think that to do so, there has to be a couple people to go and just do some ancient like reconnaissance. And I think that that's the easiest thing. It's one of the reasons why I think that the Straw Hats are probably going to split up, because there's probably going to be two congruent stories going on at the exact same time.
Okay,
and
they can split up, but now with Kuma, like in another way, please, please,
Yeah,
please.
you know what could happen? Enel could stay his ass on the moon and just telephone through like observation what everything is, yo. And I'd be
now,
fine, bro.
Now, listen. Now that's
listen. He's electricity. He could probably send a signal, bro.
Bro. Then Mushi, like, bro.
My gosh.
Yeah. I think we're tired and we're spouting nonsense at this point.
Listen. I like the whole symbolism of the moon and the sun in the story. I think that's super dope.
But
like,
you know,
fuck that moon, dog. Like,
You know why you don't like the moon? Because you see it as like you see it as a human at the moment. You don't see it as One Piece. You see it as like, oh my god, it's such a big thing. We don't understand it yet, and like it's the most amazing thing going to the moon. But like in the One Piece world, it's like just another place. Don't look at it like it was
that's
an
true.
amazing
That's
place.
true. It
Stop
does make
look.
me feel like it's
This
just another
this is why
place.
you hate it, because
Also,
you don't want
multiple
something to be
moons.
amazing and like take over like
Yeah.
the amazingness of the story right now. But see it as a normal place, like as it was Skype, yeah, but like in space.
So here's
Just
the
see it
thing, right?
that way.
There have been, and I think Hime's right, because if you think about it this way, there are multiple islands on One Piece, and there are also multiple moons for the One Piece world. Some are bigger than others. But could it just be that maybe somehow during the Void Century, certain islands were shot up, maybe even through like knock-up streams, but so far into the sky that they started to be like pulled into the gravitational forces of the Earth, eventually became into spheres, and that's how these moons were created? And that there's technically like a bunch of information from the Void Century lost in space. All I'm saying is that it could happen. I'm not saying it necessarily is
Yeah.
going to happen. I'm just saying that theoretically, within the scale of One Piece,
So
Anything could happen.
when I think about this moon stuff, I think of the last Fast and Furious movie when like Ludacris and Tyrese shot themselves from a
Okay.
rocket into space.
You know, look, I'm gonna tell you something, Larry. Don't ever read manhwas because you're gonna hate your life, because there's like so much nonsense and like realms and words and shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, what the fuck? There's even more than the moon. If the moon scares you, if like just having this amazing place scares you, don't ever read manhwas.
I don't think it's
Korean
about
manhwas, don't
scaring
read
me.
them.
No.
Don't read them, bro.
I like it. I like the moon. I do. I just think that like I've been on a ship, you know what I'm saying, and there's not even like cars in One Piece or like there's no cell phones, there's no iPhone, you know, so they just go to the moon suddenly, and it's just like, damn, you. Shit, there's like a couple levels they skipped, but it also reminds me of like, maybe it's trauma from Naruto, where it was like we were sitting in the woods the whole time, jumping from branches, and then all of a sudden there's this like alien chick that comes down. I don't know.
But it was
but
so much
One Piece-
different in Naruto, because like in One Piece there have been islands that have been like prehistoric, and then like we're literally on an island of the future right now. Like,
Yo, but it's because of one guy. That's it.
yeah, but
It's only
we
one
also
island
learned,
out of 20,000 islands.
but here's the thing, with the ancient civilization, they had ancient technology where they were able to create giant robots. Like One Piece is a post-apocalyptic world. So
It is.
like to have ancient
It is.
ancient technologies be like that, and to
Mm.
have them have been able to even like colonize certain stuff like that isn't out of the realm of possibility. And I think it fits within the context of the story. I think you're right. Like, because I don't necessarily want them to go to the moon. I just think it's possible for them to go to the moon.
Mm.
But you're right. Usually when somebody jumps the shark like that, theoretically, like in Naruto, it ruins the story. But within the context of One Piece, if Oda writes it correctly, I think it could work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like look, we have Egghead, we had Skypia, we had many places that were amazing already. Like the moon is just another amazing place. You need to see it this way, not like, oh my god, like this out of this world thing. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think that if like Deku or like Ichigo just went into the moon at the end of their shows,
but
it would be
it's
like-
not the same context, man.
I need to say this. Pluto said, "Y'all gonna be mad when the last poneglyph ends up being on the moon."
Yo,
be so
right?
funny.
So have you guys ever watched FLCO?
That would
Like,
be so.
have you guys ever
funny,
watched
bro.
Fooly Cooley?
No.
No, but I
Alright.
know what it is. but I
Yo,
don't
Fooly
watch.
Cooley is like 9 episodes, and it's like one of the greatest animes ever for me. So there's a such thing as something called a space pirate king, and that's why I said the whole space pirate king line. But if you
Bruh.
ever watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about, and it's so dope. But it fits that storyline. It fits that anime and that manga. But yeah, I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. You still
Oh.
munching, bro?
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Always hungry, bro. You're always hungry and not sharing food. That's another thing, bro.
always.
He never
Always
share.
hungry, never right. Larry has L takes all
Yeah.
throughout the night.
I clearly I'm not the top. I'm not top 10 in the draft. So
Hell, if you're
I'm
even
okay.
like top 20,
okay.
bro. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
top
I'm
20,
joking.
probably not. 20, 21?
21?
Yeah.
I was gonna sing the thing. Okay.
Hey, do song for me. We're about to get copyrighted. Yo. So
God.
what are we doing now after?
Watch. Yeah. So everybody who wanna watch some animes with us, we're watching like the new Bleach episode, the new Chainsaw Man episode, and the latest One Piece episode inside of the voice channels. So just come by right now. Wait for us. We're coming. We're gonna watch them together. It's gonna be so
Yeah.
much fun. And yeah.
All right. And then I guess, ladies, tell them where they could find you and what you have going on.
Yeah, you should. I'll go first. So the way to find me is first you need to find the road poneglyphs. Once you find all
Oh
once
my
you find
God.
all four, you'll understand that the only way to reach me is to type in at the Chestnut Tanuki into Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube and follow them. Once you do, you will unlock the mysteries of the One Piece. So
Do you
Yeah.
have any upcoming theories you're working on?
no.
I like that. No. I mean, yeah, she's honest, bro. What's up?
Yeah.
I might. I'll have to think about it. I probably my next video is going to be analysis in which I make a lot of people mad.
Okay.
But yeah, stay tuned.
All right, all right. And then what about you, Hime? Where can they find you and what can they expect coming?
I mean, always the same. Ohime Tenshi on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, whatever. You find me there. You can also click on my name like in the Discord and I have my link to my TikTok. And what you can expect from me, I mean, funny videos, hot cosplays. And yeah, I mean, the same as usual.
Yeah.
Analysis content, theory videos. Come on, Hime.
Theory
telling you
videos.
what.
I mean, if you honestly, I need to find something to talk about, you know? That's the thing.
Give us your opinions.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. We need an analysis in French.
Bro,
S'il vous
that's the thing.
plaît.
But
We
I
need
have,
it.
I have no.
Oui.
Oui. Ok, mais si je parle en français, personne va comprendre. C'est ça l'affaire.
We need
Like,
it.
if I speak in French on my TikTok, like, I don't have a lot of French followers. I have a lot of like everybody's like from English countries. So like people are gonna be like, what the fuck is she saying? I mean, I could actually translate it and put like the translation in English, I guess. I don't know. I'll see.
That would be dope. I would like to see that personally.
The French Hime content with cosplaying and then just saying like the most L takes. No, I'm kidding, Hime. I love you.
Yo, listen. If I make a video, like I'm gonna say like honestly, no. You know what? I wouldn't care. I would say like wild shit just to get views.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I would do it. I don't care. What you gonna do? Like you gonna cancel me? Like I have fans backing me up. It's fine.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Ew, Hime's so funny. Hot cosplays.
Listen, she knows. As she should. Go off, queen.
Yeah. So thank you, ladies, for joining. It was very nice having you. If you guys don't know, Chestnut has come out with a theory video. If you could put her link to it, please. Oh, Chris, you're dropping all the links. Thank you so much. Yeah, so if you
Yeah,
want to
Chris is
follow
on
Hime and Chestnut, please do. They're both phenomenal in everything that they do. If you haven't joined our Discord yet, please join our Discord. It's going to be fun, especially to the people that are new that watch this video later. And to the people that listen to us on Spotify and such like that, I do want to say thank you as well. I know that I keep getting messages from people who just listen, and there's so many more people than there actually are people on YouTube, which is insane. I get messages probably like every day. It's weird. So thank you to you guys that are just driving and working.
Yeah, make sure that we
we
chats before we go.
Huh?
Yeah, we have a super chat.
Oh. Rian. Oh, we have a couple. Holy.
I told you, Larry. Listen, this is why this is my podcast.
Listen, I'm so
Damn,
bad
do
at
your
these, bro.
job, bro.
This is why
Yeah,
I
what the
had.
heck?
Listen.
Stop eating and read.
All right. So
Yeah.
Locks Pirate says for $2. I said it first, Larry, and then Celestial Donkey says $5. Larry Lion, we do know endgame villain is Captain Buggy D Clown, hashtag Buggy. And then,
Check buggy.
yeah, Jew says for $5, who man said Jesus D Christ and I'll never be the same. Justice for Hime, all hell Dr. Tanuki. Roanoa Chris says BB fled from Rayleigh. Admirals fled from Shanks. Kaido recognized Shanks. Law is fighting BB equally. Shanks clashed with Whitebeard. BB lost to Mag. Rionosuke with the $5 says we don't see many French OP content creators. That mean a big chance for you to find a lot of fans since you are an anomaly basically. It would be pretty cool. I think you would. So I think that when you make French content, I think TikTok would recognize that your language is not English or it's like different, and it would probably push like your video out to like French viewers.
Yeah, but that would confuse TikTok and like it wouldn't know where to push my stuff anymore.
I don't know. Is that true? I
Yeah.
gotta look that up.
Like you need to stay niche to make it in TikTok. But I'll see. I'll check.
I don't know. And then we got one from Red Hair Shankdom. He says for $5, so thankful to these three wonderful people formed the new monster trio. Damn.
I think we know which one of us is Luffy.
I'm Law.
Yeah.
And she's Luffy and your kid.
No, that's hold on. The monster trio, not the supernova
Luffy,
trio.
Zoro, and Sanji. So we all know that Larry would be Sanji.
I'm gonna have to be
sure.
Sanji for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not Sanji for sure.
Look at him.
Honestly,
yeah.
I
simp so hard all the time.
I would want to be Zoro because I feel like Luffy, like the strongest should be Chestnut, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Immediately.
Conqueror's too strong.
Yeah, the Conqueror's is way too strong. I can't compete at all.
And she can pull any girl, bro. Like,
I've seen
I have that Riz. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. We really appreciate it. I know that Larry read them very unenthusiastically, but of course, as a guest on my podcast, I do care, and I do appreciate that you guys always tune in. For of course the Tanuki gang, me and Hime. We're going strong. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully Larry becomes a better host next time.
Yeah, really. You need to get better, bro. If I see you munching on stream again.
Listen, I be hungry.
Hashtag Larry is Sanji. Please spam it in the Discord.
I be hungry.
Spam it in the chats. Everywhere we go.
Listen.
Yeah.
I be hungry, bro. But anyway, thank you guys so much for enjoying us. It's been a pleasure. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And if you're chilling with us, come to the Discord. All right. Later, guys. Bye-bye.